Hey everyone. Well, whoa, my music is really loud. I can't hear myself. Hi everybody. Welcome to the Cloaks of Minehelm, a 5e D&D stream from Penny Dragon Games. I'm Ben. I'm your DM for this night and for all the nights to come. So, Cloaks of Minehelm is a stream, a campaign about the most unfortunate city watch in all the land, in Minehelm, the most unfortunate city in all the land. So we're joining the party now on the final leg of their journey through the crypts and catacombs of the city to face a necromancer, which they have just awakened, as they were supposed to seal his evil influence from leaking up into the city. So I think we're just going to have everybody go around and introduce their characters, see who we've got for tonight, and just looking on my screen, I'm going to start with Fona. Who have we got?
So hi, I'm Fona. I play Andy, who is a human rogue, and she is in the Brown Cloaks on work release from a prison sentence for a little B&E, and she's definitely regretting her choices to be here, since this isn't even official Brown Cloaks business and she technically wasn't bound to be here. So yeah, happy days for Andy.
Happy days indeed.
Yeah, but I got you a kitten though.
You did get me a kitten.
There were strings attached to the kitten.
We're solid friends now. I'm required to come down into the sewers and risk life for our friendship bond.
And limb.
Yeah, me too. I don't even know why I'm here. I'm realizing that right now after I've driven the stake into the necromancer. But
what do you mean? You made us come down here and you don't know why you're here?
Yeah, pretty much. I thought I knew why I was here. I was following orders. I was doing well, and then this thing was thanking me for revitalizing it. So let's see how we get on.
Gonna be fun.
Well, you know, it's a necromancer. You know, you can't trust it. You know?
I didn't trust it. I trusted my commander, and this is what happens.
Well, we'll see. So who have we got next? Kyle.
So I am playing little brother to Navani as Tram Pouch's scribe. I am playing the what's it? A wizard, a hedge wizard.
You're not.
It's been this long since I played.
Are you? Oh yeah, that's right. You are.
I am playing a hedge wizard.
I was like, not again. I've got PTSD from earlier on. Sorry, folks.
No, that was a divination wizard.
Yeah, I know, but either
different
way.
wizard. Different wizard, same magic chaos.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sorry, we had just earlier, only a few hours ago, we were playing at DryCon, which was huge amounts of fun, and thank them, so much for having us. It was fucking fantastic. Had a great time.
If you go watch the VOD, see the moment where Carl fucked up.
Yeah, we're gonna release that as a clip as well, so keep an eye on our social media and on our Discord, because
if this necromancer kills Pouches tonight, and you're starting to feel bad or guilty for him, go watch the clip of what he did at TriCon.
What Kyle did.
Yeah, I know what Kyle did last session.
I'm PTSD. I know.
So
I think
that's what
the
it's gonna be
best part
called.
is I kind of like messed everything up, and then I went, oh wait, I still have a bonus action. Bye everybody, and I just left.
Yeah, he got out of there quick. So next up, Patty. Who you playing?
Yeah, I play the fighter Borden Thalis. The reason, there was a good reason for my hesitation there. I was thinking in my head, because I didn't realize it was going to come up so soon. So I was thinking, oh yeah, remember how I came up with that name? And did I ever tell you guys this? How I came up with the name Borden Thalis?
Never told me.
No.
Okay,
Tell me.
I was really struggling before the session. Create a character. What do I need to call this character? And I was like, okay, what's my favorite movie? The Fifth Element. what's the main character in that? It is Corbin Dallas. So just stick a V and a TH in there, and it's a Forden Dallas.
Oh,
So
that's
even though-
amazing.
Nice.
I don't know,
I'm
it's a
just-
weird.
I did the same thing with my character in Dave's game. Her name was Shallan, but I got that from The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. So it's not
I'm
I'm just glad
me.
it. I'm
I
just
feel
glad
better.
it didn't have
But
anything
now
to do
I'm
with
like,
Valos.
oh, that's such a cool
What I'm
name. Why didn't I think of that earlier?
Yeah, yeah.
I just cheat and go fantasy name generator.
No,
Generate,
like it only
generate,
works so
generate.
well.
You're all amateurs. I played a
It's
nut.
so lazy.
Oh, yeah.
I played a British Army
Nutcracker.
officer, living nutcracker, and I called him Major Pistachio.
And it worked. But it worked.
It's
It
awesome.
really-
Well, it rhymes.
worked.
It rhymes with mustachio. I was
Yeah.
basically playing Cogsworth from Beauty and the
Class.
Beast.
It was insanely good. I couldn't believe how
Yeah.
much I loved that character, and
That was
that
great.
might
It's great.
pop
crack.
up again soon.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, we'll see.
We'll tell you about it
Um,
later, Patty. You don't know
Yeah.
about it yet.
So, oh dear,
And,
oh dear. So,
Next. Oh, sorry. Go on,
Um,
Petty, yeah.
yeah, I was just gonna say he's a fighter. He's coming in with some magic, and he's got a bit of a dark history and stuff.
Mm.
That's me.
Yeah, some of which was while we're down in the crypts. There was a bit of he had a bit of a flashback, you know.
Yeah.
Bit
That,
of kind
that
of
took me by
PTSD.
surprise.
Yeah.
I felt like I had PTSD after that session.
Everybody did. It wasn't just you guys,
there's
okay?
a man in the Iron Mask, as Warden said, who had mind controlled him, brainwashed him one way or the other into killing innocent people in a past that he can't quite remember, Wolverine style. So speaking of comic book characters, hey Boyd, what's who are you playing?
Hey, what's up, folks? I'm Boyd. I'll be playing Dural Stonehill. He's a young, naive dwarf who gets uncontrollably agitated when he crawls through dungeons. He's a pugilist, which is a homebrew class by a guy called Benjamin Hoffman. It's sort of like a strength-based monk, but more on the side of a boxer. than a
Sorry
karate
to interrupt
kid.
you, Boyd,
Go ahead.
but Raku, the DM, has just gifted some subs. So thank you very
awesome.
much, Raku.
Nice.
Or
Thanks, Raku.
Raku,
Woohoo!
the DM. Sorry about interrupting.
Appreciate
You're all
it. Thanks.
good.
I'm pretty sure that's pronounced Roku.
Oh, like
Loves tales of old adventurers and is obsessed with them like a nerdy teen loves Spider-Man. And he likes to throw hands and swears in a particularly dwarven fashion.
it's the best.
The best kind of swearing there is.
Yeah, Benjamin Hoffman's pugilist on DM's Guild and other places. It's great. I would encourage you to check it out. So then, last, certainly not least, is Big Sis. So
That's me, I think.
Michaela.
Yeah. Yeah, Kyle was right. I think it is Roku. So just putting that out there. I'm playing
Thank you, Roku.
Navani. She is an arbiter, well, training to be an arbiter arcanus. They are, well, she is a paladin of Celestra. She is mentored by a lady called Gordelia Hawkmore, who knighted her or bestowed more powers on her at her last level. So the reason she's down here is because what's his name again? I keep forgetting. The Magnetar. Or Mornstar.
the Judge Magister.
Judge Magister, yeah.
Yeah, so higher up than her mentor.
Yeah, and who informed her that her mentor has been compromised and that she must carry out the secret task. Well, did he even say it was secret? I can't remember. He said it was secret or not.
He had said, obviously, he didn't want
People to know about it.
knowing, or he doesn't know who he could trust to. He doesn't want people to know necessarily, I suppose, that he's engaging your services, because if he needs it's
Well, I probably don't know that right now. I've got an order, and he gave me a stake and said a necromancer was coming to life and that we needed to destroy him for the good of everyone. So I enlisted my good companions from the Brown Cloaks here to go down to the catacombs and try and root out this evil. But it turns out it just brought him more to life. And Navani is now questioning what the fuck she's doing. So that's me.
Well, there we have it.
I think we're all questioning
yeah.
that.
Yeah, and just before we kick off and jump into things, do we have any particular announcements, housekeeping we want to take care of up top just before we jump in?
Yeah, I could just make a few quick updates for anyone who is following the Kickstarter side of things. So, Mag of Holding Gothic Horror was supposed to be out in PDF like 3 weeks ago. Damn, time flies. So had a few curveballs to deal with, and that has been delayed, but it will be out in the next few days. So it's currently with our amazing graphics wizard who is putting it all together. It'll go through a few more final checks, so it's going to take a few more days, and it'll be out in the wild. And then 2 days after that releases, we will do the print order. So that should be with people within the next 2+ weeks after. And also, people are experiencing some delays on Mag of Holding, Pirates and Seafaring. Actually, Pirates and Seafaring is already out and in people's hands, but anyone who also ordered, that's the one. Anyone who also ordered Frozen Wastelands as an add-on is probably experiencing a delay because that one is the shipping for that is delayed more. So we're following that up and we're trying to update people as and when we can, but it's just taking a while because of the shipocalypse that we're currently seeing.
Yeah.
But other than that, we're just steaming ahead, and it's a bit crazy, roller coaster, all that good stuff, and we should get stuff caught up in the next few weeks.
And
Fingers crossed.
while people are waiting on that, we are obviously posting our stuff and our content on Patreon as well. So they should definitely head over there and download some of that content, because some of it is actually amazing. Like, it really is.
There's poo monsters in there. That's what you need to know.
Way to sell it, Ben. Way to sell it. Like, straight out there with shit monsters.
Poo monsters and heads with spider legs. I mean, what else can you want?
I cannot get that image burned out of me. I had to make a graphic for that, and I had to use it, and it's just burned in my brain, and I'm terrified. But
do you see it crawling along?
Yeah, I do. I can see the whole thing moving and the twitching and everything.
Yeah, if you're a fan of the thing, then check it out.
Give the poo monster an ability where it fires those things at people. Just to make it even worse.
But Navani herself got swallowed by an excremental, and that stayed with me for weeks. I'm not even lying. I was at work and I was thinking about that. Imagine how horrible that must have been, especially how Ben describes it. He does such a good job of making it go under your skin.
I do a great job at talking shit. Yeah, it's true.
That's it.
Very good. The master narrator.
Exactly.
Michaela, you should start a new series called The Things I Think About at Work.
I know, I should. Oh, I get fired very, very quickly.
Spiders and shit.
I mean, you've got a TikTok account.
I know. I put you on there earlier because of what happened during DryCon or DryCon, whatever it's called.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, I made a TikTok about Kyle screwing us over. But he did it in a way that I wouldn't have done it. If it was me, I would have just done it and not thought about the ramifications. Kyle knew everybody would probably maybe survive. So yeah.
Well,
Kyle did not expect the ramifications.
Well, speaking of screwing you over, I think we will.
I'm so nervous.
Back over to the map for this right now.
Are you gonna really bone us, Ben?
I am. So, as we ended last session, the Necromancer, the Darian, the Dread, the stake being driven into him seemed to, he was sleeping in a sort of a semi, dormitory. He kind of like a lich, his flesh was desiccated, but he was not bones. And from what you understand, I mean, he's been down here for centuries, So, and this knight that is with you, who the Necromancer called Kalen, this revenant, he is himself this sort of desiccated walking corpse, seemed to be guarding this tomb, and said that that we're to stop the Necromancer, to guard it, to make sure he doesn't get out. But seals have been failing. He seemed to be confident, this stake was a good idea. So being down here, Navani staked him. He was summoned. He rose from his tomb, and we rolled initiative. And I think with that, let me just grab this token. And does anybody remember, is it control click? What was it? Somebody told me how to do this. Or Joan told me how to do it, that if you hover over a token.
Control Z?
Was it control Z? No, that seems to be moving it. What is it? I'm going to say it was... Oh. People see that? Is it Z? Oh, it's just Z, is it? My Roll20 is going crazy. Hang on. My Roll20 is like glitching. And it says it's loading. Sorry about this, folks. I might have to refresh it.
You should be sorry, Ben. I love how you made it. Did you make a token for the necromancer? You did.
I did. I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
your
just going to reload my
style
Roll20.
It's cool.
I'm going to reload my Roll20.
bit.
I don't know if anyone else can zoom over it and see. So there's this, as I described, his flesh desiccated. Wisps of hair hanging from his head, and then on his head is this very old. It's not rusted at all, but it looks like this kind of black iron crown, very just simply utilitarian kind of design, spiked with some sort of dark jade stones inlaid in it. And has the music gone for anyone? It's gone for me as I reloaded it. Maybe it's just not caught up yet.
We got the music.
Sorry, this was the worst time for my Roll20 to decide to shit the bed.
It's not the only one shitting the bed. We're standing in front of a necromancer right now. So.
Yeah, it is.
I can smell him right now, and it's pretty scary.
And then
I do want to circle it though.
Now, is this?
It's just Z,
people?
by the way. You just click on the token and hit Z.
It is just Z. Okay, can people? Is that music too loud?
No, it's
Nope.
okay. We can all control our own music within Roll20 anyway.
Yeah.
So if it is too loud
It's all
for
good,
anyone, just go in there.
It's a little bit on the
Sorry
quiet side, I think. But
Yeah.
I can turn
Is
it up myself. Yeah.
Oh no, it's just I don't want to be sort of blowing anyone's eardrums,
All good.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that, folks. So, Dendarian the Dread has risen. He doesn't seem to be in much of a hurry. He's just holding out his hands and says,
Fresh souls, lambs to the cosmic slaughter.
and it's just this dry rasping in his throat. And he doesn't seem to be in any hurry as he is on the bottom of the initiative. And as Kalen, the Revenant Knight, starts, getting into position, suddenly, who is within 30 feet of 5, 10, 15?
Not me.
Oh, Andy is just out of range. Everyone else, will you give me
No.
a DC 18 Wisdom saving throw as he uses... Now, I've borrowed... there's a little something here. I've kind of gone for... instead of legendary actions, I've gone for the MCDM, the villain actions. So
No!
he's opening with...
Oh dear.
as he uses Memento Mori, and Dendarian radiates an aura of dread, striking living creatures with a deep and sudden awareness of their own terrifying and looming mortality. So each creature within 30 feet of Dendarian who has failed and who has... Okay.
Sorry, my mouth is agape. I actually passed that.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I'm not
Vorden
happy.
will
I'm
roll a 21.
Oh,
You can do it, Vorden. I love
Oh,
you, baby.
I'm very sorry, Gordon. Vorden, will you
Okay,
roll
maybe
me? Will you roll again? Because anyone within 5 feet of Dendarian rolls with disadvantage.
Oh, does that mean I have to roll again, Ben?
No, I
It's
don't.
not
think
like you can
either
get lower.
failed.
I don't think you can get
Shut
lower.
up, Kyle. Shut up.
I didn't. I didn't really roll 21. I was just like trying to tempt fate. I got a 15, so I
I
failed.
love how the first roll of the game is a nat one. Like, oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ben said you had to roll at disadvantage though. So let's see.
Yeah, so I got
Ooh.
11.
Within 5 feet, yeah. Okay, so it looks like everyone but Doral failed, and Andy was out.
Wait, I fell with a 17.
DC 18. He's
Wow.
So close
Dendarian the
so
Dread
far.
does not fuck around.
Clearly.
He so where am I? Sorry. Yeah, you are frightened of him. You can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of your turns. But all frightened means is you just can't willingly move towards him, but you know you're already there anyway. So he just
And while the
releases
fear,
Mhm.
if
Yeah,
using the
and
condition, disadvantage
yeah,
while he's inside.
disadvantage. Yeah. So this just radiates from him. It's like it's just being faced with this visage of death. And then the knight actually failed as well. So even his resolve. Oh no, actually, I think he's immune to being frightened as a revenant.
Do we know, is that Revenant his buddy
Is.
that betrayed us, or is it just something we don't know yet, or...
Well, you're going to find out because he
I'm just wondering.
swings his pike around and drives it towards Dendarian.
I have a
trying-
question.
Thank
DM.
Yes.
So I have Fey ancestry. Does that help
Sure.
me? Should I not have gotten an advantage on that saving throw against being charmed and magic? Oh wait, no. Is that just sleep and charmed?
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
charmed if it's not.
never mind
yeah,
then.
because no. It's worth asking. Um,
Nice
so,
try, Michaela.
knight-
Not one. Not one.
Okay, so he does. He manages to. So despite his, his rather, crusty form, when the Revenant swings on Dendarian, he manages to duck out of one swing of the pike, but then he brings it around and jabs him into the side, and then lets go with a smite as he recognizes Devani, and the weapon glows red hot, and that is 1 and 2. 8, 9. Sorry, guys. 8, 9, 17. So he takes 17 points of damage total. Why did that?
So he was on our side.
Yeah, and then, but he's actually just gonna move up this way to kind of make room for people. Andy, your turn now. But just as that happens, and this necromancer starts sort of building up around you, also this aura starts wafting out. Each of you, Andy, Levani, Pouches, Vorden, Doral, suddenly some of the dim gloom that is just all over this room is suffocating this tomb. The room gets for a moment gets a little bit brighter, and then each of you feel warmth from your core just sort of wash out over you and through you. And then Navani, you notice it first. Your hammer, it's the same feeling you get when you smite with your hammer, but it just it kind of glows a bit, and it just radiates over the weapon. Pouches, even your little dagger that you carry with you, you feel it glow. Andy, you feel the arrows in your quiver glow. Your bowstring feels, taut. It shines a little. Vorden, the moon, not the moon touch sword, but your rapier we feel it vibrate. And Doral, even you, like, your hands feel like they feel warm and they glow, and you kind of punch them together, and there's this boom, a sound as something. There is a light. There's almost an angelic chorus fills your ears, and you feel something has blessed you, Nirvana. You are not sure, but you're pretty sure that this is the work of Salastra, and all of your weapons, including Doral's fists, are now magical for the purposes of damage. And your arms have been blessed by Salastra against this abomination. And Andy, it is your turn.
Hold on. How impactful is this? Like, what do we get?
Your weapons have become magical. So,
Just magical weapons.
If they're anything that's, not...
So they
you're not
aren't
gonna be doing half damage.
useless as shit against this guy, essentially.
Yeah, well, that's great. Sorry, carry on.
It's all good. So, Andy.
So Andy, while they were all doing that staking, the necromancer had drifted down to these doors and was examining them to see what was, maybe could she open them and what was through them. And having now seen scary ass dude like rise up out of the coffin instead of staying in the coffin and doing all his creepy wheezing threatening stuff, she wants to open these doors. Can she push them open, or does she have to pick a lock? Or
there doesn't appear to be any visible lock. There are no visible handles. They're just these enormous stone slabs that go floor to ceiling. It seems to be depicting two intertwining dragons falling from the sky towards a city, and one is sort of picked out in darker stone, and the other in lighter stone. They appear to be gripped in combat, but there is a large glowing white runic circle on the ground, like a glyph. You can try, if you push on the doors, they don't even move a millimeter. It's like, you don't know how many tons each of these things must weigh.
Okay, so I think my turn is basically going to be her doing like an investigation check to see if she can figure out, like, see is there a lock, or is there, a trick stone she's supposed to press, but basically checking out these doors.
Okay, give me investigation.
Investigation. Oh, I think I accidentally rolled that. Did I? Ugh.
I don't.
That was a nat one.
Did it roll?
I think I must have to toggle for advantage on. No, I don't.
Yeah, it's weird. It just did twice. I'm gonna hang on. I'll roll a. Okay. Okay. I rolled. I'll take the first one. You're not.
That one.
You're not really sure. I mean, it's very, very difficult to focus. There appears to be a necromancer talking about devouring your souls with a big stake sticking out of his thorax.
Okay, so then she will, as a bonus action, she'll move 5, 10 away from the doors, since, moment of panic. Obviously, those aren't doors. She'll probably go over here for her movement. And I think that's Andy.
That is a door, and you can open it if you want. Or you can try to.
She's got as far as the door. She's probably going to just see what happens, and if her friends are about to get through.
Back to the door. Okay, Vorden. So, Terra has gripped you momentarily, but there's this, thing, and your swords have begun to glow. Something has come over you.
Okay, so Vorden is going to pull a vial of holy water, and kind of like his hands shaking as he's frightened of this thing, but he's going to pour it over himself and like draw holy symbols on his head and mutter a spell as he casts protection from evil and good upon himself.
Okay, nice one. So that is
that's his turn.
Undead will have disadvantage against you, right? To attack you?
Yeah, there's a bunch of different things. They have a disadvantage on attack rolls against the target. The target also can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed by them. If the target is already charmed, frightened, or possessed by such a creature, the target has advantage on any new saving throw against the relevant event.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. Are you doing anything else?
That's his action. That's all he can really do. And he's like too frightened to kind of like. It took everything he had just to do that. You can't do anything else.
Sure. Yeah. Will you give me saving throw with advantage and add +5 because of Salastra's blessing? Wisdom, sorry, just to see if you're still frightened.
Would it not be straight because he's within 5 feet?
Oh, I thought it was just attack rolls.
No, I'm saying you said you have disadvantage on the wisdom saving throw if you're within 5 feet.
Oh, sorry, just the initial wave. Sorry.
Okay, I was just curious.
No, it's all good. Oh, okay, yeah, no +5.
That's the 21 I was looking for in the last round.
This is not the 21 you were looking for.
There
This
is
not it.
strange. There is like weirdly, there's a very strange sense of like calm and hope comes over you in these stranger circumstances, almost as if you had been reciting the litany against fear of the Bene Gesserit, and you feel this kind of wash out from you. And with that nat 20, I am going to give Vorden inspiration.
Woo!
As something, you feel a fire in your belly.
Yeah.
And then the necromancer is eyeing you.
Oh dear.
if that's all, is Vorden going to attempt to move
No, that's
away,
it.
or he's standing his ground?
No, he's standing his ground.
Cool. Doral.
All right then. Choices. Right, I am going to make a little hop up on top of this and jump across to here and say, "Give us a piece of you!" And I'm gonna jump at him, and I'm gonna attempt to grapple him as my action.
Okay. Can I just put you onto just so I can see him? Go for it. So athletics check.
Athletics. I am going to spend my inspiration and reroll that. Come on, be bigger. Oh!
The 14 was good enough. He got an 11.
So that's
so he is grappled. You latch on, like you like grab a hold of this guy, in whatever way you can, and it's just like touching him. Like anyway, it feels like evil. It's just like this, feeling of a tainted soul. Your hand feels like ice cold.
And then for my bonus action, I'm going to attempt to grapple him again.
You're going to attempt to grapple him again?
Yeah.
I thought, didn't you succeed?
No, I failed.
Yeah. No, you did. He got a 4. The 14 was enough. He got an 11.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that I've successfully...
it just feels like awful. It's like you feel, negative energy.
Right then, if that's the case, I want to replace my bonus action attack with a shove attack. I wish to try to push him prone while I continue grappling him.
Yeah. So...
See him again.
Okay.
I'm getting the bad one. I'm getting the bad ones out now.
Okay. No, he got an 8.
I just say to everyone, "I've got him! Get him!" And that's my turn.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was a good use of a turn. So, Pouches, still frightened for this turn anyway, but I don't think you were going to plan to get up close to them anyway. So.
No.
Yeah.
And since I'm frightened, I will... You said the stake's like still lodged in his neck, right?
it's still like, yeah, it's lodged like, essentially here, between his collarbones.
I'm gonna just point
And
to
his
some
chest.
like piece of the floor over here,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna catapult it into him.
Yeah, the parts of the place have crumbled a bit, so there are loose chips of flagstone and things.
So he needs to make a dex saving throw.
Okay, dex saving throw. He just yeah. Okay, he is going to just let me one. You just send this thing catapulting at him, and then he just puts his hand up, and then as it starts to get towards him, the projectile just starts to crumble into dust until finally it just becomes just a sprinkling of dust that caresses his face as he uses the first of his legendary resistance to succeed on the
Still half damage.
yeah. But he is then going to. So what is it? 15. Okay.
Oh, hold on, wait. It says no damage here. Let me just double check catapult.
I think it. No, it might be how. Why does it say?
I don't think it is.
It's not. It's not. It is. It's not half damage.
No, it's not. So
No,
perfect
okay.
description there.
Sorry. Yeah. No. I should have clarified actually because I wasn't 100% sure. So yeah, it's just you. It's almost like you just feel the magic just fail. It's like you're not even entirely sure what that was. That happened. But you've still got movement.
Nope, gonna stay where I am.
Okay.
I'm just like frozen to the ground. I managed to get the words and the movements out, but that's about it.
Mm-hmm. So same thing. Will you give me wisdom save, but +5? You can add +5.
No.
No.
I rolled
Okay,
almost
so-
as badly as Navani.
This. Sorry. Then. So is Poucher's gonna? Is he moving? Is he staying where he is?
He's just gonna stay where he is.
Okay. So, Navani, this necromancer's standing before you. This stake in his chest as though it were a toy. There he is before you. What do you want to do? His rictus grin, just
And I'm frightened.
You are frightened. So attacks will be disadvantaged until you save.
Yeah, but Navani would have received training to do with when she is frightened, is what I'd imagine. So she would, she herself would try and push through.
Oh yeah.
Because that is what her training would have taught her, So she's gonna go for it. And she's gonna drop her shield and go two-handed warhammer.
Oh yeah.
Also, booming blade will be up
Okay.
should he decide to move, but she's just gonna go for it. And
Yeah.
she roll. Wait, it doesn't make any difference if she intimidates him beforehand, but she's gonna try
Well,
and just be
yeah,
like,
go for it.
"Bring it, bitch."
Nice.
So will I roll for intimidation, or will I just say that?
Yeah, go for it.
Trying to get all my bad rolls out. 9, yeah. He's not intimidated.
He starts laughing.
Yeah, he probably does.
It's like when the sound doesn't escape, when he doesn't have his mouth open, it's like he's just his mouth closed and you can hear in his chest this kind of echoing like but it's like, when he opens his mouth it seems to be this rasp. It's like, and his voice sounds like it's coming from far away. like from an old crypt.
Lovely. Like Tales from the Crypt. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Swang on this
Oh!
motherfucker.
I might smite on that one.
Although I think that was disadvantage.
It was with disadvantage, yeah. Oh wait, it was.
8. Yeah.
It's not a 25.
Fortunately.
I read that wrong. No, that's me, I
no.
guess.
Yeah. Varney goes swings and it's.
I'll take the shield off as well.
That's way. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And again, he looks at all of you, and then what? So just seeing this, he looks at all of you, and he just doesn't even say anything. He looks, each of you. He casts his eyes to the night, and then his eyes just drill in on you, Navani. Says,
Pathetic.
and then
Wait. Do I get a wisdom save?
Oh, you
Get
do,
him.
yes.
End of
So,
my turn.
Give me wisdom save +5. You add
Okay.
+5 to whatever you make.
17 plus 5.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
20 something.
You feel, the fire in your heart.
Yeah.
You feel
Damn right.
You feel Celastra. Like you didn't notice until you straightened your shoulders that you were sort of shrinking away, but then you broaden, but you stand up straight in the face of this thing. And then for his next sort of legendary action, Dendarian the Dread, the Necromancer, uses spiritual castigation. So Dendarian assails the soul, weakening it. Each creature within 30 feet of Dendarian must make a DC 18 Charisma saving throw. So I think that's everyone. Revenant saves.
Can I ask
sorry.
if this is this against being charmed, frightened, or possessed?
No.
Which DC is this again? Charisma?
Charisma, yeah.
Oh, can we
Andy,
take the
that's
nat
17.
20 because I did that at
Yeah,
disadvantage?
it's if you're if you've got advantage or disadvantage just on as default, then we'll just take the leftmost one.
I got a
so
nat
that's nat
20,
20.
so I'm taking that.
Yeah.
Please.
Again, Navani, you feel again as this hits you, much like Vorden, you at that he says pathetic, and then he puts his hand out and feels waves, energy come off, but you've just straightened up, and it just seems to bounce off of you. And there's a very something kind of past it, not that
Like
he would be afraid,
Professor
but just
Xavier and Magneto
just-
when they meet.
just the kind of interesting, and you've a point of inspiration.
Yay!
As you feel Celastra, you feel a hand on your shoulder.
She's my woman
Oh, nice.
Or- man or whatever it is,
yeah.
whatever
So-
they deem necessary.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Vorden, the +5 was for the checks against being frightened.
It was worth a try.
But yes. So I think everybody but Navani and the Revenant Knight failed with spiritual castigation. He seems to be trying to weaken your soul rather than your flesh. So on a failed save, so all of you who failed, suddenly you take 3 levels of exhaustion as you just shrink, and you fail 2 death saves prematurely. So when you go down, you'll have 2 failed saves.
Are you fucking kidding me, Ben?
Is that to everyone?
To everyone, Navani, you only take 1 level of exhaustion and 1 failed death
Oh,
save.
only one.
But
is
then
it- is it?
as he does this, something he's puts his hand out, and then he goes and he feels like he seems to wince at the stake in his chest for a moment, and then grits his teeth, And then on the knight, Doral, and Navani, he goes. Okay, miss. Okay, so the knight and Navani take a hit as he pulls, like, he just sort of reaches like up into the air, and suddenly this whip of sort of very dark, almost black purple energy crackles forth as he brings out his dreadlash, and he goes and just whips 3 times around all of you, and the knight takes
Chains and whips excite me.
the knight takes 8 cold damage.
Insert
Yeah.
Rihanna here.
Yeah.
Does he have the
takes
Whipmaster feat?
Oh no, not yet. But actually, somebody that is
Don't
going to
give
be
him
joining,
ideas.
somebody
Stop
that's going to
giving
be
him ideas.
joining, somebody that's going to be joining Cloaks has the Whipmaster feat, I think.
Ooh,
nice. So, sorry, 7 cold and 9 necrotic damage, and the Revenant has to make a DC 18 con save, which he fails, and he has his hit point maximum reduced by the necrotic damage, which is 9. And then Navani, so 9 plus 5, so you take 7 cold damage, you take 5 necrotic damage, and your hit point maximum is reduced by the necrotic damage, which is 5. And he comes up with the whip and lashes, and then he settles down. He kind of he's standing, in front of the crypt, and the stake again. He winces, and something seems to he slides back. He starts sliding back towards the crypt, like something's pulling him in, but he manages to stop himself from being dragged back into his crypt. And that was his turn.
Can I tell what that is? What's trying to pull him back? Do I have to figure that out?
Make a religion check.
I don't mind waiting until my turn, just out of curiosity. Maybe Pouches should be doing this because he has a higher religion than me. Oh no, 19 plus 3, which is 22.
You feel like the stake is working now.
Oh, it decided to wake up.
That it's like, that it seems to be now doing its job. Yeah.
Okay.
Of pulling him back.
Stick, you slacker.
We've all had one of those devices that we thought would work instantaneously and did not.
Yeah.
Can I just clarify if that was 17 points of damage? So you said 7 cold, 5 necrotic, and 5 damage to my hit points.
Holy.
That just means that your maximum hit points went down by 5. So your max. So you didn't take any. You took 12 damage.
Oh, okay. So my overall hit points went down
max,
by 5.
yeah. So if you were to
Right.
heal, you could only heal up to.
Okay, so that is a problem. All right.
It's not going to be, hopefully not going to be permanent. And he takes 14 plus only 4.
Never thank the DM when he takes your HP away.
So he takes about 18 damage total from the Revenant, who is just trying to lay into this guy. And he's just shouting, "Hold!" Hold! To the rest of you. Andy.
I was supposed to take damage, and you haven't done it for me, and I haven't done con checks.
Oh no, sorry. He no. He missed Doral.
Okay.
He
My
hit
bad.
the Revenant, missed Doral, and hit. Oh, actually, Navani, make a con save. 18, because if you if you make the con save,
Con save.
you won't. Yeah,
Right.
you won't take the HP reduction. Oh, nearly, because it was nearly landed on.
I
the
know.
number.
Don't rub it in.
So Andy.
So Andy is, I'm torn between what Andy's gonna do. No, I'm not really. Andy wants to try and run up to this guy and try to swipe his pretty little necklace thing off his head. His head necklace.
You mean
Try
it's
and mug the neck.
circlet? It's a circlet.
Maybe it's something
It's
to
a
do
tiara.
with his power, like, so she wants to try and steal his stone of power.
Go for it. Go for you're gonna try and take his crown. This
No one
jagged
ever
iron
said
crown.
she knew anything about magic, really. So,
Yeah, there is space for you next to the Revenant and.
say 5, 10. So she's up there now. I assume that's a sleight of hand.
That is a sleight of
Is it
hand,
or-
and I'm gonna give him a dex save.
Okay. Hopefully that worked. Did that roll? No? Oh, there we go. Oh, come on, 10.
He got a 10. I'm gonna say, okay. I'm gonna flip a coin, and you know, the good heads, it's Andy, and then the skeleton head, it's him. He succeeds. Andy, you're like reaching, he's kind of there, and just out of nowhere, he's expecting you to draw a sword, and you just like go for his thing, and then all of you look, you don't know what the fuck Andy's doing, but she pulls back. She's holding this jagged iron crown in her hand, and it's cold as death in your hand, and he growls at you. You feel hatred just waft through you, but you have his crown.
So that was my action. As a bonus action, could I do an unarmed strike as she's trying to like get away from him, where she just tries to wallop the stake a bit deeper? Or would that count as a bonus action, or would that be an action?
As actually doing an attack, that's going to be an action to try and do
That'll be an
that, because you've got to
action.
try and hit a specific point. It would be as involved as making an attack.
Okay, so I think I'm going to use her bonus action to disengage from him, and then use her 20-foot remaining to back away.
Okay.
To there, I suppose. Okay, cool. Boom. I have
Right.
the circlet of coldness.
I'm gonna say
For a second there, I thought Andy was going to I take the tiara off and beat him with it.
so did I, which is in the unarmed strike. Sorry, what was I doing? Okay. So
I suppose once she gets back here, she's kind of like leading, so she can sort of see around Navani to see if that did anything.
Navani's
look
pissed
like-
off
no.
because now she's gonna have to protect you too, because you're so close. She's like,
yeah.
not again.
Yeah. Vorden. This thing seems to just be almost staring through Navani at Andy. And suddenly it's you could swear it looks like he's maybe trying to he's levitating off the ground.
Oh, okay. So Vorden is going to strike out with his. I'm assuming is. So what? My rapier is classified as magic against this thing now.
It's
is that
magic,
right?
yeah. It's not
Okay.
+1, but it's just you will,
Okay, so he draws his rapier. He has his shield in one hand, and he notices there's something weird about this. It's shimmering or something, and he strikes out with the rapier, or pokes this thing with his rapier. So let's see. And I don't get disadvantage. I get the advantage and disadvantage cancel each other out, so it's just a straight up attack roll. Am I right?
Well, I don't think you shook off the frighten, didn't you?
Well, because of the exhaustion.
Oh,
So
yes,
a
right.
third level exhaustion means disadvantage with attack rolls, but I also have advantage against undead
Yes.
because of the
You do.
spell. So, by the way, I'm concentrating on that. I need to remember. Let's
On
see.
protection, yeah.
Yeah, that should roll. Did
Okay,
that hit?
yeah. It did.
Okay. And
Nice.
Vorden normally reserves his action surge for when it really needs to, but he feels like he really needs to, so he's going
Yeah.
to try that again. With just like swipe. Ah, no.
It very nearly hits him. It feels like there was sort of an air about him. The like almost like a little bit of a barrier, but maybe without the crown. It seems like this sort of this aura around him seems to have faded. And yeah, Vorden, but in the first attack, brings up the blade. You feel it warm in your hand, and you just go and you strive in through one of his ribs and carve away. There's no blood. It's just like dust. This sort of seeps out into the air and twists away like a snake in a wisp of foul-smelling smoke. But unless Vorden's going to move or anything, it will be.
That's it.
It will be Doral. Doral, it is
Alright,
your
then.
turn.
First of all, I'm going to attempt to shove this guy prone to the ground.
Yeah.
So special melee attack,
Sure.
19 for a total of 24.
Okay. Yeah. It's contested, isn't it? So
Yeah,
he's-
contested against either his athletics or.
Yeah, he is that's an 11. So
Okay, I just
this
want
guy
to
sees-
do a little description here.
Nice.
For my bonus action, I'm going to summon my rock hand, and at the moment, I'm holding him with my left hand, and it's my right hand that transforms. I'm going to, with a flick of the wrist, summon up a small piece of rock behind his left ankle and push him with my new rock fist. And as I push him, I say, "Take that, you beardless, maggot-ridden stench bag!" and trip him to the floor.
Nice.
And that's my turn.
Let's just So he is grappled and he's prone.
I just
right,
say,
you shoved him prone, didn't you?
Yeah.
He cannot stand up.
No, he can't stand up. His speed 0.
His speed is 0 and he's prone.
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah.
He has
Adventures and
disadvantage
initiative.
on range attacks to hit him, and advantage on melee attacks to hit him.
Adventures and Initiative
initiative.
just raided the channel, did they? Thank
Yeah,
you
that's what I was gonna
very,
say.
very much,
Hey.
guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank
Thanks,
you, folks.
guys. Appreciate it.
Hi.
Hello.
You're just in time. You're just in time to see a wrestler just pin a
Yeah.
necromancer to the mat.
Welcome to the madness. The Dural is the only person doing anything against this necromancer. The rest of us are dying.
Yep.
Yeah. As,
Hey, I
as,
stole
as
his
God
Necklace
intended.
head thing of power.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Andy stole his little tiara, which was awesome.
The necklace head thing of power.
Of power. It's of his power, I swear. Obviously.
Yeah.
It must be.
So yeah, Doral has got this guy pinned. Pouches.
Kyle, you're muted.
I am going to talk to myself, apparently. I am going to cast Magic Missile at first level, since I'm still frightened.
Okay. Nice.
12
Nice.
total.
So, yeah, Pouches releases these bright, silver darts, streak forward, and just kind of going, in and around your teammates, and it's just like, almost like, nailing him to the ground. They come up and then just drive into.
Oh, no, I find all of those adorable. It's time to reveal my traitor.
Yeah.
No.
No, I'm kidding.
So they just they drive into him like
Let's be honest, if I was going to go traitor, I've got a lot nastier things that I could do with you all bunched up in the corner.
Yeah. His pouches, movement, anything
No,
else?
but he's not gonna move because he's still frightened.
He's not
But
gonna
he
back
will
away.
repeat.
Well, you can
he
move
will-
away from him if you want.
Yeah, but that doesn't serve any purpose.
I don't know. It serves the purpose of getting fuck away from him.
25.
That
I think I shrugged that off now.
Yeah, you're. That is all good. You're no longer frightened. And Navani,
Yeah.
he
So
is he's prone. Doral is holding him down.
I want to smash his skull in without hurting Dural, of course.
Of course. Go for it. So,
Okay.
Give
advantage on the attack.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what? That's not fair.
It's still a hit.
It's still a
Two
hit.
25s, isn't it?
Oh, 13.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So 15
Sorry.
bludgeoning.
I
15
thought-
bludgeoning.
Okay. I want to smite those.
Hell yeah.
I want to smite that.
So, first level slot, second level.
Second level.
You have, yeah. So,
I'd-
48.
Okay.
You have second level.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
I don't only have
might just
second
be-
level spells.
No,
No,
you
I
wouldn't
no, I
know.
don't think I do. I've just
I'm
clicked
thinking
divine
like Sir
smite.
Arthur.
Yeah, it's not allowing me
It's
to
no
click
first.
that. So
It'll still be 3d8. radiant.
3d8. That'll be 16.
Oh, nice. So, 15 and 16. Nice. So, another 1. Yeah, so 31 damage total. So he's on the ground. That's it. You aim for his head, and just swinging up. There's almost like a sound of lightning, striking the hammer. It glows. It actually, burns your hand a little bit, and then it cracks against his skull, and light explodes. And dust is kicked up, and it clears. And his head is still there, but there's like his skin has been essentially like in a mark here, has been sort of burnt away, and you can see like a tiny fracture in his skull, hairline fracture.
Nice.
That he's still just seething.
That one will hurt in the morning.
And nice. Is Navani doing anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, back to Dendarian. The dread. He. Let's see again. Okay. Andy, you took his crown. He's on the ground. He just looks. He looks up into your eyes, Doral. Lovingly. He doesn't seem to be bothered. He looks. He's like, looks at you, Navani. Sees the hammer is smoking. Looks around at all of you, and then his head turns. He's looking over at Andy, and his a free hand. He's kind of trying to hold Doral off him with the other. Points a finger at you, Andy. And I need you to make me a DC 18 Wisdom saving throw, please.
Is that a disadvantage because I'm exhausted?
I think. Let me double check.
Yeah, for
throws
3
and
levels.
Is it?
DC.
3
Yeah,
is it?
third
is
level
it just
saving
attack?
throws.
It's saving throws as well. Yeah.
Thank you,
Oh.
Cara, for
Come on, double
35 bits.
that 20.
Oh, nice one. Thanks, Garrick.
Thank you.
Come on. Oh, fuck me. Okay, sorry.
Oh.
It's okay.
Oh no.
It's okay.
Oh no.
It's all right.
Andy, you. So. Oh god. So your body is paralyzed, and almost like with the Doctor Strange movies. He points at you. Your body just goes ramrod straight, just stiffens up as if you were frozen. And Andy's soul, just a spirit image of her, is sent flying from her body, disappears as your soul is hurled through hell, through the nightmare landscape of the underworld. And you feel yourself, you see things that your mortal, puny mind cannot even comprehend, for fear that it would break. And since you are not a fiend, I need you. So, okay, you will take. Hang on, I just need to check one thing.
When will Andy learn not to nick things?
Never.
Never.
Yeah,
It'd be
probably never, in
ridiculous.
fairness.
You won't.
Mike, you might-
Ever, ever.
He would
Might
be
get out of
Andy.
this with a necromancer's crown.
And just a sliver of sanity, perhaps.
Andy's the definition of klepto.
And you take. Oh God, sorry. Where is it gone? I wrote it down. I'm just trying to.
Solo
maths. Quick
in
maths.
chat says, "Wow, this guy is a little nastier than I initially thought he would be."
Yeah. You take. I rolled low. You take 34 points of psychic damage from your little vacation through the underworld.
Okay,
Oh.
I am now unconscious.
Your soul
Oh,
returns
dear.
to your body, and Andy drops like a rag doll. The crown skids
Dear.
on the flagstones.
Dives in said Ben or the necromancer.
Yeah.
In response to the person being worse than he thought it would be.
Yeah. And then that was his action. And then, excuse me. And just before, I meant to.
Sorry, just before
Have
you
it.
go on, Ben, though, after I take that psychic damage because my soul was hurled through hell, does it like snap back to me injured? Or is my soul still off on its hell journey? And I'm
No,
soulless?
it snaps back to you, and you.
snaps
drop.
back. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Did Andy get that whole thing where she, where we all got exhaustion and stuff? Did Andy get that too?
I
She
did,
did,
yeah.
you failed it.
I've got
And
the 3
as-
levels.
Way
So-
to
so you
drop
have
her in it, Paddy.
What? One fail save left before you die?
No, she failed.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
right?
But we
Yep.
won't know till the end of the fight because as we have been running the rule that the GM is behind the
Oh,
screen
crap.
making death saves for people so that people can't be like, oh, such and such they've only failed 1 and they've made 2 successes. I don't need to heal them. And yeah, that is. But then just as Doral has him pinned, and again he points. Then, and Andy, you don't see Andy, so you just see Andy. He pointed at Andy, and she just dropped like a rag doll, like the life was just ripped out of her. And then from there, you see with the same hand, he kind of he sticks his hand out, holds it just over the earth beneath him, and he uses his final legendary villain action, Exhume the Ancient. He says, "Rise, rise," and he pulls up.
Can he
And
use
from
his legendary actions after his own turn?
Well, these are villain. He was actually supposed to do this before Andy's. They're not strictly. For shorthand, I'm calling them legendary actions, but I kind of stole. It's the MCDM villain actions. And from the flagstones, which start to split and crack, Dendarian extends his blasphemous reach deep into the dark, cold earth and wrenches forth an ancient creature to serve as his undead thrall. Something rises out of the ground, like some you see one claw burst out. It's 3, 4 feet in diameter, and from the ground behind you is, I'm just going to use a skeleton token. Where has it gone? Is a huge.
That's a big ass skeleton.
It looks like some sort of the skeleton of some ancient reptile. Something old has just crushed and burst through the ground behind you. And it will take its turn, and it just moves 5, 10. It moves over Andy here, and it's going to take its attacks on the Revenant Knight. It's just going to go right after the Necromancer.
Is it supposed to be that big?
It's huge. And it goes for... Yeah, it hits him twice.
I don't suppose anyone knows reduce and large.
Not
Or
yet.
large reduce. Yeah, dying.
And the Revenant... Where is it gone? Takes 32 points of damage, and he is looking a bit rough. This thing just drives forward and swats at it with his tail, and then latches onto him, and has got the Revenant inside, his torso inside its jaws. Andy,
Yeah.
it's time for a roll. Okay. That was Andy's turn. We'll check back with her in a minute. We'll see. Vorden, it's your turn. He is on the ground. He's pinned. He has just pulled some ancient dead
still
beast
prone, right?
from the ground. Yeah,
Yeah, okay, so
he's still prone.
Vorden is seeing the effort being exerted by Dural, and he's like, he turns his rapier into he's holding the hilt and the blade down, and he's gonna try and slam it into his chest. And I guess this is difficult because there are 2 advantages and 1 disadvantage. So does that mean I still get advantage even though they don't stack?
No, it just cancels each other out. If it's
okay. Right. So even though I let's see. Okay, then I will.
his AC's 12.
Yeah. I shall cast Booming Blade.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna strike at it. Hold on, just give me a second. At 5th.
Okay.
We're not at 5th level, are we?
No,
That's
we're
why
not.
we're getting. This is why we're getting creamed.
We're still 3rd, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to attack and cast Booming Blade just in the off chance that it comes in useful. Did it roll? No, it didn't roll.
No.
It's because. Let's try that one more time.
Sure.
It didn't do the attack. Goodness me. Right, you know what? He's just going to strike out with his damn rapier. That's
Mm-hmm.
we can do the Booming Blade thing later if it makes any difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is it? Rapier. Attack with rapier. All right.
Nice. Yeah, that's it. So 6. Yeah, he. Okay, he's actually. He's looking, kind of raw. Everyone's sort of piling up on him now. You know, Doral's got him, and you drive it in, and it just goes into his chest. You feel the stone clink beneath you. You know, it's almost like the two of you are just trying to like drive him back down, back to the underworld. And is that
back to whence you came, you evil creature? That's his turn, yeah.
And Doral, it's your turn, and as you had him pinned, like you could again feel he was like something, not him, but something like dragging him, like he was being pulled down and back towards the crypt, you know. And now you can kind of still feel him, like something is drawing on him as you have him pinned, you know.
Weird. All right then. I'm gonna shout out to the rest of the group. Ignore the summon! Kill him! And I will attempt to punch him. And I presume I'm sort of like, I've shoved him to the ground and I'm laying on top of him. I'm just gonna give him a right hook with a rock fist to the lower right of his lower left abdomen. Ooh, a 7 to hit.
That's
do I have advantage?
He's prone.
He's prone.
You had disadvantage. No, you.
I don't even know.
I think you had disadvantage from exhaustion.
Yes, I have disadvantage from exhaustion.
Regular, yeah. But it's
just a regular then, yeah. So it's a miss.
It's you go to punch, and it's again you manage to keep a hold of him, but again he like slides away from you towards like the crypt, like something is trying to drag him back to hell, you know, and your fist
so we had 2 levels of exhaustion only.
3
we have
3 and 2 deaths already. Wow.
Yeah. And then the flagstones just crack, and you know, from the earthen fist, from the titan fist.
That's my first attack, so I'm going to spend my 2 moxie points that I have, and immediately after you take the attack action on your turn, you can spend 2 moxie points and make 3 unarmed strikes as a bonus action. So
nice.
I'm just going to swing at this guy a lot. First one is an 18 to hit.
That's a hit.
That does 6 damage. The second one is a 19 to hit.
That's a hit.
And that does 6 damage again. The third is an 18 to hit. And it does 9 bludgeoning damage. Ooh. And one last thing is, if I miss with an attack, I can immediately make another attack. The first time you miss with an unarmed strike, each turn you can make an additional unarmed strike attack as part of that same action. So I'm going to swing at him one last time because I missed the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh!
I'll
take it.
Yeah!
Nice!
It's like Dragon Ball Z. You ever see them just go,
wow!
Yeah. 14?
Yeah, a total of 14.
Yeah. Nice. Doral does the Iron Man Hulk. Go to sleep. like go back. Go to hell. No. He just Doral like fucking it's like apparently Doral took the level dip into Barbarian because he's just like just like goes like going fucking ham on him, just trying to drive him back into the earth. And the last one, you hear his jaw dislocates, and you see his jaw like comes, just hanging off barely off of his head, and he's like, ugh. His eyes sort of like, white, the pupilless eyes just kind of rolling around in his skull.
Hope you can still make semantic components for that.
Is that Doral?
Yeah, that's my turn.
That's Doral. Pouches.
Okay. What do I do with being
disadvantage from range is the problem for you, I suppose.
Well, disadvantage from exhaustion's already there, so I'm not evening out like the rest of you. That's the big problem. I'm gonna cast
Body.
catapult again. Actually, no. I'm gonna risk it, and I'm gonna cast witch bolt at disadvantage against him at second level. Please work. Please. I'm burning a high level slot here.
A million dice.
10.
And is
Oh.
AC 12.
Plus
Oh,
5?
Unfortunately, that does go wide.
Actually, oh crap! No, I meant to do something else, but
Oh, go on.
no, I wouldn't have actually. I'm gonna make it Big Sis's problem.
Okay.
As usual.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna make her Big Sis's problem. I mean, she is lying on the ground right next to you.
Navani, the necromancer, looks. He's vulnerable. He looks pretty vulnerable, and Andy is beside you, seemingly lifeless. What do you want to do?
Can I tell like how bad? I can't obviously tell how bad Andy is.
You could. I mean, you can try. I won't take an action or anything, but she has like no. I mean, apart from whatever she had, when she came in here. Like she has no visible wounds or anything. She just dropped.
I'm sorry, Andy, if this affects you, but I'm gonna assume she's fine, and I want to step up where Durrell has the necromancer grappled, and I want to put my foot on his head and swing like a golf ball with my two-handed war hammer.
Go for it.
Okay, so just normal, guessing.
Yeah, if it's or you don't have. hang on,
He's
do you have-
grappled, so I get advantage, right?
Yeah, but I just want to see. Do you have? Let me just triple check.
Exhaustion levels.
Oh, I do.
But you only
How
have
many do you
one,
have?
So
One.
You only have one, so
You're
it's
fine.
Yeah.
It's only at level
advantage.
3 that you start taking disadvantage on attacks.
So I have advantage right now because he's grappled,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Yep.
And I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put my foot on his head and go for a golf swing.
So you're swinging at his head, right?
Well, yeah, like here, potentially like a nice prime position at the back of the membrane.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. You've got the foot on it. You're not like
Yeah.
Go for it.
She's playing croquet. You stand on the ball and then you hit it out from underneath your
12.
foot.
Yeah.
Or is
Well,
that
no.
20?
Well, the
20.
20, but the 12 would hit anyway. But yeah, so that's 8 damage.
I only get to hit once.
Yeah. Do you-
Can't really do anything as a bonus action, can I?
spell slots left.
But it wasn't a crit. Like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna smite it.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, it's 2d8, right?
3.
3d8.
He is undead.
Ah,
Oh. No, aren't they D8s? Those are
How is
D6s.
that even possible?
oh, they're d6s.
Oh, they're d6s. Yeah, go again.
Yeah,
D8.
roll
Oh,
again. Yeah.
hey!
Okay,
Get those
okay.
ones out of the way.
3d8.
Yeah,
I'm gonna laugh so hard if this is 3 1s again.
that'll be.
Oh.
13
Oh, nice.
damage.
That's good. That's good.
So that brings me. I'm down to 0 smite slots.
Yeah, so with that, so Navani, you bring this and you play a bit of croquet, like the Queen of Hearts of it, swings, and you swing, you feel it connect with the skull. Doral, you all hear this dry, almost like someone ripping sackcloth or linen, and his head just goes flying free and rolls and knocks against the wall as Navani strikes it, and then it turns, blinks at you, and starts to laugh.
Oh no.
And it starts to, like, you see energy go from his neck to the stump of his head and starts knitting back together, drawing the head back onto his shoulders. And then as it, it attaches, he goes and he like, the stake starts sinking into him. He grabs it and he's just going, no, and he's just, his body starts to be dragged back towards the crypt. The ground begins to shake, and then suddenly he gets back into the crypt. He's holding on to the edges, desperately trying not to be sent back. And then Navani, with just a flourish, steps up, wipes the nose, and you bring the hammer and you strike the top of the stake like you're driving it into the ground, and it pins him down into the tomb and sinks further into his flesh. And his eyes, once alive with sickly pale green light, die, and his hands, almost as if he's trying to stop them, like rigor mortis setting in, they cross over his chest. The giant skeletal behemoth that he had summoned collapses in a heap of bones as the necromancer has been sent back into the abyss, as Gandalf would say.
You shall not pass.
Then Darion the Dread has been dealt with.
Dead.
Dread's dead, baby.
I was not expecting to make it out alive. I really wasn't.
Me neither. Jesus.
You had to survive for 3 rounds. Well, the stake did its work. Hence why he was insane.
Can I go check on Andy immediately, spinning around and seeing that she is down?
Yeah, I'll do the same.
Yeah.
Run over and see her. And if she is still like breathing, I will chug her the whole potion.
Ember is on Andy's chest, is like
doing compressions,
licking her face, and like he's like sniffing, and he's like, anyone who's going to check on Andy, give me a perception check.
Perception.
I deliberately didn't ask earlier on how Ember was doing. I didn't want to remind you in case you forgot.
No, that
would've... kill Ember.
Oh, 20.
Oh,
20. Ooh, that's unusual.
Vorden, pretty weird. Ember is like, he's like nuzzling kind of like into Andy's neck, or like behind her ear, right where her pulse would be, and then is like trying to like lick her face. She's completely still, and as you go and you check, someone want to give a medicine check?
I will do that.
Yes, perhaps someone better with healing should take care of Andy. She looks like she might be unconscious.
I'm gonna lay on hands, Andy, and I'm gonna lay on hands for 5 hit points.
Okay.
I feel like if we're like to be really like dodgy with the suspense, if we're gonna do a bio break, maybe we should do it now.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I rolled that with advantage.
Okay.
Just take the first one, 14, but I also pumped 5 points of hit points in there.
Yeah. So.
Jeez, stop pumping people tonight. First you
Can't
give a
help
guy wood, and now you're pumping
Ravani,
Andy.
What can I do? What can I say?
You're gonna rub your hands together, and you're almost afraid to touch Andy's skin for what you might sense. You touch her skin, it feels sort of a little cold. You press your hands, and you go to put the healing light of Celastra through her in the hopes that she still has a pulse in her heart and that it might awaken her. Otherwise, it will enter naught but dead flesh. And we'll find out whether she wakes up after the break.
You're bastard.
Oh, that's nasty. I hate you.
Well played.
We'll take an intermission and we'll see you in 10 and we'll find out whether Andy is fucking alive or not. Or are you trying to give CPR to a corpse?
Oh, Jesus.
Ember,
Right.
her pet,
I
is
know.
giving her CPR.
Oh, we'll go take a quick intermission there, folks watching. We'll be back in 10. If you've been enjoying the stream, please do consider subscribing. It really helps us out. Or even just showing up to watch is a tremendous help as well. So we'll see you in 10.
Peeps.
Soon.
Hey, welcome back everyone to Cloaks of Mindhelm. We hope you had a good break. We did. We weren't panicking at all about whether or not Andy's alive. But without any further ado, Varney, you've reached out, touch Andy's skin. Feels cold beneath your palms and your fingertips. You let Celastra's light sort of surge through you, sort of waves out from your heart, your shoulders, down your arms to the nerve endings, and then press into Andy. And there's a slight feeling of depression, and then cold skin warms ever so slightly, and Andy, your eyes open, and and there's a brief flash where you see, you don't know what it is, but something which is going, going to haunt you for the rest of your life flashes before your eyes.
I
was
sure Andy was dead, especially with the fact that
me
disadvantage.
Holy shit.
With that,
What a success.
I would like to chug a healing potion because I'm currently on 1 HP.
Oh my god.
Oh wow.
Holy sh! What? That could have gone so
That could
the
have
other
gone
way.
so
I
wrong.
did
was-
not realize
yeah.
that. Holy
Celastra was looking out for you.
He was.
Um,
Andy had a success. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna like
Failed.
cram a potion down Andy's throat while Navani's doing the same thing.
Jeez, Andy, first touch, now
7.
crammed.
+2, right?
Plus
my
2
only
with the
potion.
potion. Yeah, 2d
Yeah.
2d4 plus 2.
2,
Yeah.
9.
That was
So while
I'm up to 10.
I'm kind of being
That was the last of
fed-
my.
fed this potion,
Hmm.
and I'm kind of like spluttering as I try to swallow it. You can kind of see Andy's eyes are kind of going to each side of her, and then her hand is kind of reaching out and patting the ground to try and find
The circlet.
the circle. Even as she's
I'm
being
going to
fed
take
this
that
potion.
away before she can find it. I'm just gonna like walk over and like
Yoink.
drink, and I'm just gonna walk over to the Revenant and be like,
yeah.
I think this might be better to put in a safe place.
He sort of slumps against the wall, you know. He's like, he takes the crown, and he nods. And
Thank you.
he looks he's looking around at the room, and there's, you know, seals sort of flickering out, and he says,
I don't know how long the stake will hold him. I
Hopefully-
cannot forge a new seal.
Hopefully, Navani's master can do that for you.
Is that something that I know that he can do, or I can't do something similar to hold them longer?
the judge magister asked you to bring him the necromancer's heart so they could
Okay,
forge
so
a
I'm gonna
from
walk
it.
up to the tomb and grab his heart.
Just grab his
Before
heart.
that, I'm actually
How are you gonna get to his heart?
Is there any heart left? Like, how much of him is left? Like where the
Oh, you
stake
gotta open
is,
up his-
because I was planning on taking the stake anyway. So I drove the stake through its heart. So I'm guessing.
No, you drove it through his neck.
Or well, like
that-
kind of
well,
like
that
in
was
his
stupid.
chest, or well, because you don't know. Well, you were told to get his heart, so maybe.
Okay, well, I'm gonna
Wow.
go up and investigate and see what I see. Do I see a heart? Or what is left? A kidney?
Well, you
Before
can see. I mean,
I am-
the stake is in his chest, but you can't. I mean, there's no. His chest cavity isn't open, or you know.
Can I like dust him up into a pot or something? And
No,
take-
his body is there. He's still kind of like he looks kind of like a
Yeah.
little bit kind of like a mummy, a bit mummified, but his body is intact. If a little.
but there is no heart. Is there any identifiable features that I can recognize that I would know to be of importance that I could?
What do you mean you don't know if there's any heart? No, you can't. I mean, you have to
Okay.
open him up and see.
Well, that's what I'm
I'm
saying.
just gonna like walk over and be like,
Like I'm
just pull out the dagger
investigating.
and just be like,
Yeah.
and begin
That's what
like
I'm
cutting his
talking
chest open.
Oh yeah.
I'm talking
sorry,
about. Can
sorry.
I do an investigation to like,
Sorry. Yeah.
open him
you
up
can,
and surgically
you-
remove anything I have to?
when you kind of hold your hand over him, you actually reluctantly you put a hand to his cold, dry, withered flesh, and you can feel a heartbeat beneath his papyrus skin.
I will follow the heartbeat with my hand and attempt to just rip it out.
Yeah, give me Well, look, give me a strength check.
Okay. 15.
I mean, it's not. I just want to see that he just. It's not difficult. Surprisingly, despite how like solid he was. I mean, you drove your hammer into his skull, and it didn't crack. But now you're able to just just Temple of Doom style, just drive a hand in, and you feel it. Everything else is cold around him, but it's still cold. It's a very strange sensation. This cold muscle underneath your hand, but you can feel it beating, and you pull out. Even the rest of him is just dried and dusty. There is a blood-covered, beating heart in your hand, but it is cold to the touch.
I take that and I take the stake.
When you go to take the stake, the revenant sort of puts his hand up and says, "It might be wise to leave it where it is."
Okay, I trust you.
He says,
And then-
I cannot know for sure, but it seems to be holding him in place."
Well, if it is, let's just keep it there, and I'll pocket the heart, and I'll go back to see if Andy's okay.
Pocket heart.
Yeah, as I go to slide it inside your tunic, I'm like, here, straps or something. I
You
don't
just
know.
hear like
The revenant is the
Yeah.
revenant is
Slithering
sliding
down.
the lid of the tomb, back over.
If Navani starts chopping up some onions and garlic, I'm gonna start getting really worried.
Oh, but I love onions and garlic.
I mean,
At this stage, how many hit
definitely
points did I
cover
get
that
from the
thing.
potion?
we should cover that thing. Don't just put it in there. I
It's-
remember a tale of a white wizard and a grey wizard. And
Do you have something to put it in?
no, we should wrap it in something.
Do you have something to give me?
Yeah, here. And I
You got that butcher's paper that they,
Yeah.
Do we have
Um,
like an urn or a glass bottle big enough to put it into?
I don't know.
I really wouldn't.
I
touch
don't think that we picked anything up along the way.
Yeah. I have a flask, but I don't think it's big enough.
I'll just
Never
keep it in my pocket for now. It'll be grand.
This re-
Do you have a necromancer's disembodied beating heart in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
It's pulsating.
This real
and
life
everything.
shit's weird, you know. In all these stories I've read, there's lots of tropes of shouldn't touch the thing, or maybe you'll get turned into a necromancer yourself. Nope, just slip it in your pocket.
I'm bringing it back to the people that know what to do with it. We don't know what to do with this. We want to destroy this forever. So let's bring it to the people that can do that, right?
But Navani, do they really know? Did they send
clearly.
us here? What was this, a wild goose chase? Were they setting us up? What's happening? What's going on?
The necromancer's dead, isn't he?
Well,
the stake killed him,
your
didn't
friends.
it? How do you know? It was the stake that killed him. And it was me that killed them. So either way, it was them.
Very well, very well.
No, for a second there, I was
hugging
with you, Gordon. I thought maybe, has she been double crossed? But no, I don't think so.
I never doubted them for a second.
Who's the them in that?
Inside check.
Order themselves, or the person who sent you in this quest? The
Judge Magister wouldn't lie. The Judge Magister wouldn't lie. It's. We need to get this heart back to him as soon as possible and see if they can destroy it and see what this all was about in the first place.
We really should go to him.
Look at that for an insight.
Natural 20. Tell me.
Nuts.
You were the only one that knows this, right?
Yeah.
Navani's totally lying, like completely lying. Like she totally did not believe in what they were telling her to do up until the moment that the necromancer died. She thought that they forsaken her, and she's in extreme emotional turmoil over it.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna.
Okay, so Andy,
with my line with what I was saying before, and I'm just like, here, let's not go in guns blazing and tell everybody about this. Didn't this guy?
Not everybody, just the person that gave us the task. Yeah, not everybody.
Like the people above him might be on the trail of this necromancer, right?
There's something going on. My mentor has been compromised, apparently. So this guy seems like the only guy I can trust.
Why don't we put the heart somewhere safe? And then you go meet that dude and see if he double crosses you or not, without bringing the heart with you.
But I trust him completely. His plan worked. So.
But do we? I mean, he didn't. He said. I don't remember if he explicitly said, but I mean, the last. I mean, you could go see him if you want and say, I want to see Judge Magister Mornstar, but
it would draw attention. As well,
you may have to wait for him to contact you.
You should definitely go see Arnold. We should not be bringing this to whoever you're
Arnold Monster, yeah.
You don't know. Well, look, I've complete trust and faith in them. So, I'm here on a mission. You guys graciously accepted to come along with me, and I'm taking responsibility for its final end. You guys want to get paid, don't you?
Pay is good.
Andy is just staring at you mullishly over the top of Ember's head, which is kind of here. You can see her eyes.
2 ears.
You can tell she's looking at you mullishly. The ears are here.
I nearly died multiple times on this job.
Do I need to do like a deception check or something?
Right.
Because I feel like I was very convincing, but it was only pouches. I feel like everybody's on to me in a way.
No, I don't think anyone else has any reason to believe.
Andy just doesn't think it's a good idea to bring the loot to the meetup.
Probably not, actually, but it's not that sort of deal.
You might have to find somewhere to stash it anyway.
I do probably need to find
because it's not necessarily like you're going to come out of the catacombs and you don't
I know exactly where I want to go.
You'll be meeting.
I know where I'm going to go. I'm going to go to that lady that we have all that willow weed to trade in and get healing potions from. So she'll have something that we can store it in for now.
Are there any urns or any receptacles knocking around here, like have ashes of things in them, or
probably, but
in the nearby vicinity?
Give me an investigation check.
Oh no! Let's see what
Checking
happens.
my inventory to see if I nicked one.
You probably did.
Yeah, you probably did.
I do have a copper chalice with silver inlay. I don't know if it has a lid though.
Yeah, it's probably not gonna work.
No, there are crypts in this room, but
Is there
similarly,
a vase or something I could find to put it in so everybody like calms down until?
you can hang on now. Let me see this.
Reverend, do you have a vase for flowers knocking around by any chance?
Yeah.
He says he's like looking and he's looking at the heart and he. This is. I will return. And then he sort of stalks off through the archway.
I'm just like imagining him walking through the wall, and then he goes and gets something. He walks back, like it just leaves it behind, and it like smashes as he walks through the wall.
We hear an echoing
Yeah.
smash in the adjoining room.
Yeah.
Navani, I've nearly died multiple times helping get this thing. I just want to make sure you're bringing it back to Yarnold, right? Not the rest of them, specifically Yarnold.
Yeah, the Judge Magister.
Mornstar.
Yarnold.
Yeah.
Yarnold Mornstar. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you're going to bring it back to him and him alone. Yeah,
He was the one that gave me the task.
Yeah. just
He-
making sure.
I didn't know about this before he said anything, and if
The only
my
reason I'm
superior is telling me that there's this task needs to be done, I'm going to do it. And my mentor is compromised apparently. So
Yeah. The only reason I'm asking is I'm worried about your safety. I don't want you running back there and telling them and giving up the goose sort of thing. Just bring it straight to Yarnold.
well, we're
I
going to
would choose
preserve
that.
it first. We're going to have it preserved, and then we'll do as Andy suggested and bring it to him and tell him the task is completed. And
Cool. It's up
So-
to you what you do with it. It really is, but I just want to make sure you're all right.
but I want to make sure that you guys get paid. As you said, you almost died 3 times, so let's make sure the Judge Magister makes it worth your while.
Yeah, I'll be giving
So,
you a shout, and you'll be coming with me to fight a Goliath with red tattoo.
I promised.
That's all. That's all the payment I need.
Well,
So
let's
after a few minutes,
I'll take his payment if he doesn't want it.
after a few
Fuck
minutes,
off! I'll give it to charity first before you get it. Happy hands.
Kaelin the Revenant returns with just like a simple. You don't know what was in it. It's just this very dusty, like a clay pot. It doesn't have a lid or anything. It's pretty. It's pretty deep and reasonably wide. It's some sort of clay pot with little handles on the side, but no lid. And he sort of presents this vessel.
I grab it out of his. Well, like I go to take it
Mhm.
off him.
Yeah,
And does he
Yeah,
give it to me?
yeah, he hands it off. He's just sort of like, I could find nothing else.
So I take the heart out of my pocket and slap it in there. Yeah, and close it.
Would it be worth filling that with some holy water to be on the safe side?
I'm gonna put a couple of droplets in there
Oh,
just in
good
case.
idea.
My sound went a little bit earlier. Is he wearing my circlet? Is that
Him?
where,
No.
did I just give the circlet to him?
How just to give the circlet to him? But I don't think he
give
put it
me-
on.
Give me a perception check.
I love how Andy's like, is he wearing my circlet?
Exactly.
The fucking ancient necromancers for thousands of years. 9 stars.
Hers
14.
within
Wait,
6 minutes.
Was that supposed to be at? Oh no, so I am still exhausted. I assume. So yes, it should
possession,
be at
yeah,
this.
possession is 9/10 of the law.
No. In Andy's
Um,
case, possession is 10/10 of the law.
Yes.
As long as it's
um,
my possession.
Yes.
It was yours since you saw it.
He does not appear to have it on him.
Okay. Sorry, did I get health back from the potion, by the way? That Vorden so delightfully.
Yeah, I
Or
don't
fed
think
me.
so.
What is it, Andy?
You fed me a potion earlier.
Yeah, you got 7 HP from it.
7, perfect. Thank you.
You're more than welcome.
All right. What the hell?
So I got the thing in the box. Let's go.
When you pour the holy water on it, there is the heart. The heart seems to like almost sear at the touch of the holy water.
Whoa.
Cool.
This
What
is
motherfucker's
cover it up.
essence.
And I stuff it in my bag or whatever I have on me to carry shit. And I start making my way back up like this maze.
So, yeah, sorry guys. So yeah, with that the revenant bid you farewell. He sort of escorts you to the stairway, from this level, and he's just like, well, I pray that this new seal can be forged and will hold. I must rest. I can feel myself waning. Even the strength I gathered over the last century has been depleted rapidly. And I bid you farewell
Wait,
and good fortune.
before you go, could I?
Aye.
And I hold out my hand at him as if to try and shake it.
He holds out his hand.
Thanks for your help, Keelan. I hope you get some peace.
This knowing that Dendarian is damned is all the rest I require, and all the peace that I need. And he literally just sort of stands in the middle of the floor, and he, like a statue, he just sort of straightens, and the glowing hollows behind the helmet just go dark as if asleep. He stands there with the pike and his head just ever so slightly tilted down.
Just sort of bow my head.
He gives you notice that when you went to take his hand, he didn't grab your hand. He grabbed your forearm, like almost like an older kind of like handshake,
Checking to see if I have a dagger in there.
He did the kind of the old
Beastmaster.
Yeah.
I think that's the referral, the description of it usually.
Yeah, but really, I think of it as the if anyone's seen Hot Rod.
So before we left this, are we still in this room, or have we been escorted out of this room to somewhere else?
You're on the floor. He's just sort of led you to the stair, showing you out essentially.
Okay. No, let's go.
But I mean, he's are you going?
Well, no, it was just that we presumably left the room where we thought the necromancer, where all those extra tombs and stuff were, because he led us to the stairs. So
yeah, and I did promise Andy.
She was distracted.
I did promise Andy that when we go back, we could loot as much as we wanted, but we had to get to where we were. So I was hoping that I would be able to keep that promise to her and let her loot her way up the stairs.
I am going to just.
You're all walking slowly because you're tired, and all you hear in the background is like rat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat.
No, but I'm waiting for you. Like, I'm protecting you when you're going to loot. Just in
after
case.
the session, I'll say that this house is clear. The catacombs reasonably clear at least for the time being. So what I'm going to do is, like Fona, or if anyone else wants to.
Everybody does. Everybody wants something, right?
Yeah, everything on the way back up. I will just kind of like post session or just like out of game instead of just being like rolling a million dice, because there are.
Maybe give Fona a bit extra, because Andy would not declare absolutely everything she got. Like she'd be willing to share to a certain aspect, but not the whole lot.
I will also add this. I'm going to keep detect magic going the whole way up, so that I can hopefully
Yeah.
find any magical items before little
Yeah.
slippy fingers get their hands on them.
You're going up one
Oh, come on. I always give you the magic
Level.
items.
She does.
Except notably the one that you nicked away from me.
up one more. Up
Yeah,
one
which
more.
I
I
didn't-
gotten in fairness because it was pretty jewelry with a curse on it or whatever. But you know,
Yeah,
And
that's why I
eventually-
took it away from you before you decided to wear it.
Yeah.
Next thing we have, what's it? A Galadriel situation.
the Andri Nemancer.
We shall have a queen, dark and terrible.
I think.
All the Grimishkas rise from the dead.
No.
Yeah.
Cast fireball at them.
Yeah,
Sorry,
that'll
guys, I've
work.
Lost this particular track that I was. Sorry, there we go. No. Sorry.
Oh,
No, I think. Sorry about that.
that's the quintessential
Uh,
Cloaks one, isn't it?
That's the usual. So- You
We are the
have come
Cloaks.
back up, and so immediately after you say emerged from the catacombs, where would you have stashed the heart, Navani?
It would be concealed upon my person, very stealthily, like as stealthily as I possibly could.
Okay, it's
Okay,
jug
Andy doesn't
about-
want to make the creepy heart.
Jug's about a foot wide and maybe 2 foot tall.
It's under
So
her coat.
can I like strap it on me somewhere?
Yeah, I mean, you could just look. I mean, if you want to, if you're carrying it, it just looks like you're carrying a clay pot.
I'm not carrying it out in the open.
Yeah.
It needs to be concealed.
Yeah, I mean, you can throw your cloak over it.
Yeah. Well, can I have it like? Do I have a belt on? Probably. Would
Yeah, I mean,
have
if you
a
want to
belt.
get something and kind of try and loop it around. And,
Yeah, I'll do that
Yeah.
around the back underneath my cloak, so my cloak is
Okay.
covering it, so people can't see it. I am concealing it.
Um,
I'm gonna bet that Andy could have lent you something that's like a belt with a kind of a net bag on it that you could.
But I'm gonna
Um,
I'm gonna go to that lady that makes the potions straight away. That's where I'm beelining to right now.
okay.
And I'm hoping Pouches and anyone else who was collecting the willow weed will come with me.
Yeah, I'll come along. I think I've got all the
Hello.
willow weed.
Just
Willow
Yeah.
Winthrop.
one thing on the way up as Andy finds all this loot. I'm actually going behind her, and at each place where she steals something from a graveside, I do
Oh,
a little sign of respect that my Earth Gensai teacher taught me, and thank the spirits for what they're receiving.
Mm. So you make your way to Willow Winthrop to give over the willow weed.
how many
and-
potions can she give us based on the amount of willow weed we have?
How many
Kyle?
items did you gather?
Mm-hmm. Tell you now. We have. We have 14 collections of
Uh,
willow weed.
I thought we had a shit ton more than that.
No, 14. We collected 14 in total the whole way down.
Let me
Okay.
just.
And by 14, you mean 40, right?
Yeah,
14.
yeah, she can make 3, and she'll have 2 willow weeds left over.
So if we say she can make us 2 and she can keep 1
Yeah.
for her charity, and also I'd like to take her aside myself.
She says, "Well, She says, "Well, thank you. You didn't have to bring me these."
Yeah, well, you help people and we want to help you too. So come here. And I bring her away from any prying ears and I
Yeah,
say,
she said that she goes before you start speaking. She kind of like puts her hand on you. She's like, she says, it's all right, love. I know what you're going to ask. And she goes to a jar, and she has this like sort of this paste, this sort of like lavender colored paste, and she's like, just put it on, and a little bit before, and wait for it to sink in, and the burning, it'll go away, and
no,
just
no,
just stay away from the boys around here.
I think
You
we got
don't-
some cross wires here.
Please tell me I overhear this.
Oh, my lady, I'm so sorry, dear.
Please
I'll
tell me I'm
Bitch
overhearing
slap
says,
you
this.
into
may
next
perhaps-
week, charity
Perhaps
or
I'm,
not.
she says, I've been projecting my own youth onto you. I apologize.
Yeah, you
Please tell
probably
me I
have,
overhear
you
this.
fucking hippie.
Please.
yeah,
That's not
a
my
hippie
style.
noble. She says,
Please tell me I'm overhearing this. Please.
well, give me a perception check, I suppose. And
I did say I was away from prying ears.
yeah, it's gonna
10.
have to be good. No, it'd have to be very good.
Aw.
Sorry, because she's
looking,
sorry,
looking
torch
around
lady.
her.
Sorry, man. Continue.
I was going to grab her by the arm while she's talking to me and sternly look at her and say, listen to me, you freak. I need something that I need to contain a dark, dark entity that cannot escape. What is the strongest thing that you have?
I mean, if you're severely constipated, I have a pretty strong laxative.
And I
but
bring out the heart and I show her.
She's looking, and she's. I don't. This is.
Just give me a
What-
jar, give me
She says,
something.
what is this? Oh, you. Oh,
Like,
I see. You don't
a
want to keep
container.
it here.
no.
Oh. All right. That's. Forgive me. Yeah. I thought for a moment. She says, All right. Well. She's kind of, just 1 minute, and she. Eventually, a few minutes go by, and you see her talking to the young guy, sort of like teenage boy that's helping her out, and she comes back with it would be, it's sort of just big enough to fit it. It's like a little chest.
Mhm.
It's like a mundane chest, but it's got a latch and a lock on it, a padlock. And she says, I don't know if it will hold whatever that is, but it'll keep it.
Contained.
If it's just a regular beating disembodied heart, then it's not going to go anywhere.
So, question for you: what I have the heart already contained in, can that fit inside that padlock glass box?
No, the clay.
The jug.
pot is
It's
about
more of a
this
jug,
big.
right?
Yeah. This thing is like,
And
it
I
would
can
just,
tell-
it would fit. It's a
I
little
can-
chest. It's
Yeah, I can tell that would be just a temporary solution. Like,
Well,
could I tell that what she is offering me would be better to put it in than keeping it in
It
this?
is.
Would it matter?
It is as mundane as the clay pot, but at least the clay pot is open at one end, but this is at least like a box, and you don't know whether do you need like what's going to happen if this isn't in some sort of lead magic box or whatever. This is just a chest, but it's very small, but it's better than the clay pot.
Okay,
which
so
might
I'm going to
break
put it into
before-
the chest, and I'm going to
She
take the
says-
chest.
She's gonna. She's like, I don't know what you did to get that, but well, I'll brew those potions as fast as I can. And
We'll
she's
bring
looking at
you-
you as well, and she's like, you look peakish, and she's looking at the rest of them, the rest of you, and she's like, it looks like you could all do with a good night's sleep.
And some food too.
Mm. Says, well, is there anything pressing?
No,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
it.
looking
I'm
over
good. Thank you. And I'm going to
There's a-
turn and
There's a yeah. Well, she said it may come see me next week. I'll have those potions.
no problem. See?
She says, you know, and she kind of she said she's like, come see me if anything is well.
Do you feel like there's anything wrong right now? Can you heal any of us right now? Can you?
Well, no, she just means she's like, well.
Is that where you're angling at? Because you can tell we're pretty beaten. So...
No, she's just saying, you look tired. Just, you know.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, she's just, an old
Let
lady.
it turn around and walk
I
away.
ramble. Yeah.
But in a loving way, like in a stroppy teenager sort of way. Like...
Yeah, she was very much. You could get the impression it's sort of like not physically, you know, but like if you okay, you know, are you okay? You look like you've seen some shit, you know. You look.
I walk out to the party and I ask you guys, like, so you guys gonna make your way back?
Warren's already halfway to the barracks to have a nap.
Okay.
I assumed we were following you to do the whatever you need to do.
I thought so too. So I'm asking if you're still there. I'm asking are you gonna go back to the keep?
I'm still
Earl gone too?
No, I'm right there.
So
it's just Warden who's like left for a drink.
Oh, I thought we all split up at one point. If everyone else is there, then Warden's going to still be there.
So I'm going to turn around and ask you guys: are you guys going to go back to the keep, or are you going to go to a tavern first? Should we go to a tavern?
Tavern.
I'll meet you there.
My bed.
Yeah, me too. But I'll meet you there, or you know, if you're going back.
You young whippersnappers and your taverns.
I guess we're going back to get some rest then.
Do you require
Andy's kind of looking at you
company?
like, why are you? Are we not all going back? That's kind of what her like. She's like, why were you going to meet us there? Or, you know,
I've got something I need to do, and it's quite pressing.
Would you prefer to do it alone or with our help?
You've helped me enough, I think.
Well, okay then.
Very well.
I'll be at the tavern in about an hour if anybody wants to join me.
All right. We'll see you there.
Okay.
And I just walk off. I don't know what these guys want to do, so
I don't know about...
Andy's going to head off towards the market.
Yeah, Vorden is going to head back to the barracks. He says, I don't know about you guys, but I am positively exhausted. I shall see you in the morning after a nap.
So, so everyone sort of goes about errands and, you know, so Navani, where exactly are you going?
I'm going to go play
I'm just going to interrupt quickly. As soon as everyone has turned away to like part, I'm going to cast invisibility and follow Navani.
You bastard.
I have 1 second level spell left, and I am going to burn it to cast invisibility on myself and follow. Just be like, toodaloo, I'm invisible.
So I am actually headed. I'd imagine growing up in the orphanage, Navani would have been very, you know, cautious about what the possessions that she would have had on her, because I'd imagine she would have got picked on a lot of people and got robbed on a daily basis. But
before your growth spurt,
but knowing that she would have had a hidey hole somewhere around that area. I haven't actually pictured whether it's in a sewer or, you know.
Yeah, so you know, not far from the orphanage, you could still see the orphanage, you know, from where it would be, but just down a little on the corner of a little, you know, down a side street by a sewer drain, there is next to the wall of a building, there is a little stone, like a brick, that is loose from the, you know, it's a bottom brick, you know, outside a building, and you go and you see where there's mortar has been worn away. And you're You take 2 fingers and you pry this brick aside, and there is still there, not filled in, not fixed up. There's a little hole about 2 foot deep, 3 foot wide, little hole in the wall, very dusty, filled with cobwebs. There's a dead mouse inside, but still there.
Is it big enough for the?
It is just about.
So I want to remove the dead mouse, and then because I don't want squished dead mouse on the dirty necromancer's heart, and then I'm going to replace the brick.
Okay.
And then I'm going to find the nearest tavern, and I'm going to have shots, and then I'm going to go back to the barracks.
Yeah. So that's.
I don't hear you, Kyle.
Muted.
I was gonna say while she's sitting there having shots, one of her shots is all of a sudden just gonna like float up and just disappear into my mouth, and then I'm gonna put it down.
Yeah. And then invisibility is going to end abruptly.
Yeah, and then suddenly I'm going to appear. Wait, I don't have interaction with an object.
No, I'm just saying. I was just for dramatic effect. It would be that would all happen in about an hour. It's an hour. Right?
Oh no, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna just be like invisible and see what she does with the whole like shot disappearing. And
she knows it's you. She knows, and then she's gonna say, she's actually gonna say, "Hey, can you not just be useful and light one of these things on fire?"
And with that, I'm going to cast. Actually, no, I can't. I really am very useless because I have no fire magic.
And I'm just gonna laugh and say, "Of course you can."
I'm
just gonna knock it back.
I'm still gonna be invisible at this point, and then all of a sudden I'm gonna appear like the Cheshire Cat, like starting with a smile, just, and then there's me sitting on the other side of the table.
And then it's just I like to imagine this was happening at the bar, and then Pouches just appears, and then there's just like black out the bartender is like, and the night passes.
I feel like growing up in the drains, I'd probably know who it is, and I'd be like, "What's up?"
Yeah, it's near the orphanage where we grew up. So
yeah.
So they would know me.
The night passes uneventfully for some, eventfully for others. And you all wake in the morning in the barracks. Some of you eventually crawled into bed with
2 levels of exhaustion to go.
Yeah, with Navani is fine.
During the night, so when Vorden wakes up, beside him in bed, possibly tucked sort of so his arm is kind of round it, is going to be a bottle of wine with a little thank you kind of scrawled on a piece of paper wrapped around the neck of it. And I'm going to guess Pouch's bed with Pouches will probably be like a nice little pouch for holding stuff in. Again, with a little note sticking out of it saying thank you for when they wake up.
Aww. I'm going to check all my shit. Because Andy's been in my room.
Vorden says, "Oh, charming," and proceeds to brush his teeth with a bottle of Jack, or a bottle of wine, as the case may be.
Navani, you wake up and, or Andy, you notice Ember like looking at something on the floor, tracking it with his eyes very intently, and then you look up and you look, and Navani, you wake up to sensation of something. You kind of feel a little skittering by your feet, and looking down, you see at the foot of your bed is a little like origami, a little paper mouse, like as if a folded up note, much like the bird, the paper bird that sort of flew towards you when Mornstar summoned you the first time. There is a little paper mouse.
Bend down and I unravel it very quickly, but I turn on my side and facing the wall, so I'm reading it while I'm in bed.
Yeah, it just.
Can I see, is Ember actually looking at anything?
Is she what?
Is Ember actually looking at anything?
Or is he, rather? Sorry, is it he or she? I don't remember.
Or is he?
Yeah.
We said he.
Was it a he?
Is he also playing with a little paper mouse?
I think it's. No, he's or Ember is looking, at it, but Navani, it simply says it's just directing you. It's the same handwriting, whether it's what his handwriting actually looks like or whether it's his, magical signature. It is the note is directing you to a hidden wine cellar in an abandoned storehouse on the docks to meet.
I trying my hardest to grab all my shit and slip out of there without anybody else noticing.
Mm.
Do I need to give you a stealth or a deception if I say I'm going to get cleaned up, like going to get a haircut or whatever?
Well, everyone give me perception and you give me stealth. We can assume that at some point, as these things...
Stealth or deception?
Oh, sorry.
Was the night's sleep counted as a long rest? Are we not exhausted anymore?
Rest. Yeah. Oh, sorry. You have one less level of exhaustion. Sorry, Navani, you were saying like, oh, you're lying about where you're going. Sorry.
I was actually no. I was I was going to make my way out. That's all I was doing with confidence, but like hoping nobody would notice. Like nobody else saw me read the note or nobody else saw me have the note. So I'm guessing I can just get up, get dressed and leave.
Well, I think Andy was awake watching. Ember was watching the mouse.
Oh, that's what Ember was watching. Okay, yeah, so I'm definitely watching.
Paperman.
Oh.
You saw Navani pick something up, and turn her back, possibly like she was going back to sleep. And then at a certain point, she got up and, yeah. But then,
I'm not making my way to where the directions tell me where to go. I'm actually going to go to a temple of Celestra.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to start lighting candles and kneeling in front of the altar and uttering my words for guidance.
Andy's going to go get breakfast.
Sausage and egg McMuffin. All of one too.
Yeah. So you
Does she receive any like divine guidance and?
What is your what is your charisma bonus?
My charisma
modifier, sorry.
3.
Now, you're just generally like reaching out to Celestra, or did you have like a
specifically about this necromancer's heart and about what this means and about what I'm going through as a disciple of hers and having to deal with a mentor that is completely apparently going over the rope, like going out of bounds, You
sort of receive like it's very vague. It's more of a feeling, which is that
should I give the necromancer's heart to this magister? The heart of it.
The heart would forge a new seal. It would. It's it's what it would do. It's capable of forging a new seal. It's not, that's true. It's it will make a seal. The other you've get the sense you're being told to trust your companions. But things are still cloudy. It's you can. It's difficult. You see, both, Mornstar and Hawkmoor, sort of standing silhouetted behind a bright curtain of light, not exactly sure
Which way to
where the
turn?
truth lies.
Yeah. So
But behind you, you feel the others. You feel Andy and Doral and Vorden, and most of all, you feel Pouches behind you, that even when the way forward isn't certain and you don't know who to trust, you feel there is no doubt in your mind that you can trust them.
and that is when I get up and I walk back to the barracks.
Mhm.
And I go looking for my companions and see where they are. Are they still in bed or have they gone out? Or
I think Vorden's up.
I try and round everybody up. I try and round everybody up and say, come on.
Yeah, you
let's go."
do. Everyone's around the barracks.
And then I bring
would
them
I
out
have
to-
noticed she was gone by this time?
I mean,
Because that would depend if I was in the barracks or not.
Is Pouches a
Sorry, my
heavy sleeper?
stealth.
Does he wake
my
up
stealth
early?
was 18 as a fucking paladin, so like
Yeah,
that
that's
is
pretty good.
fucking amazing. So
Like, I don't know.
what's your
is
passive
Pouches-
perception, Kyle?
Were you asleep? You know, is
You were asleep.
Pouches a heavy? Like, does he sleep in? You know, or is he like up at the crack of dawn kind of guy?
I wouldn't say he's like up. I would say he's between those two.
I feel like she's probably back. You know, Navani's.
I'm hoping I'm
You know,
waking
you-
everybody up.
Yeah,
and
get up at
come on.
5. Get up
Come
at
on.
5 a.m. for prayers. You know.
Yeah.
But that's not what I'm doing. I have a plan. So I want everybody to
No,
get
I
up.
know. I'm just
No,
saying.
no. I was more like I'm not asking. Did I hear you sneak out? I'm asking. Did I wake up, go check your room, and you weren't there?
Oh,
Like,
okay,
how
yeah,
long
that
has
makes
it been?
sense.
You know, have you
Yeah.
been gone for like an hour? No, I would say at most you might wake up 10 minutes before she's back, and you know.
Okay.
So yeah, Navani rounds you all up.
And then I'm going to take them out, and then we're going to hit some places along the way to get some like bits and pieces for a picnic, and I'm going to front the cost of that. So we get some wine, get some cheese, get some stuff. And we load it all up, and then I lead them to hopefully a secure area. Nothing too fancy. I'm talking like whatever I can afford.
Mm-hmm.
Vorden's kind of rubbing his eyes at the beginning and getting a bit cheesed off, and at the sound of wine, he perks up all of a sudden and goes along with the plan.
So Andy already had some breakfast, but she's always good for a second breakfast.
Or a third or a
Hey.
fourth. But I'm hoping to like, maybe take whatever they had on offer in the canteen in the Cloaks. Take all that. And
It should be pretty damn good given all the shit Vorden's been giving the quartermaster.
exactly.
Like, I'm gonna say, you're not going like, you're going like nice, but not like.
I'm going cheap,
like
man.
fancy.
We
You're
got
just going
eggs,
cheap,
we
yeah?
got bread, we got cheese, we got butter, we got a bit of wine, like nothing fancy.
Call it 5
Sounds
silver.
like an omelet.
I would even go as far as to say 1 gold's worth.
Oh yeah, you know it's pretty. It's it's not bad. It's not.
It's not bad, but
Not
it's
bad wine. It's good, but this is a nice cheese.
yeah.
Got some
so-
meat that's not spoiled. You managed like
Yeah.
actually get some fresh ham, like a salted pork, like an actual ham. Got a few slices. You went down to the market.
And then I want to take them to the most secluded place that I know in the city.
Mhm.
And I want to sit them all down and bring out all the food and have everybody chit chat for a while. And I want to say, so the necromancer's heart. I mean, I've followed these guys. These guys give me my orders. This is what I know. And I'm not sure what to do, but one thing I do know is that you guys have felt like family more than they ever have. So I'll do what you ask when it comes to this heart, but I need to know how you feel. Should I give it back to them or should I not?
Yeah, cash it in.
But how do we
I
know that
think-
that's not a
Was that
bad
your response?
thing?
If
Well,
it's a
and to
bad
keep in
thing, we'll beat
mind,
the guy to
it's-
death.
And yeah,
But the-
keeping
Or in
in
my
mind
case,
that
electrocute him.
he is saying that lawkeep is, this is,
How do I know that they're not compromised? I'm telling them my true feelings now.
Yeah.
I'm saying to them, how do I know that they're not compromised? My own mentor was compromised. How do I know that he's not trying to dupe me or, she's
What
all I've.
alternative?
Yeah, fair.
What alternative is there?
Destroy the
Just
heart?
assume he's not trustworthy.
We could
You
destroy
never
the
go
heart.
wrong if you do that.
Give us the thing that stopped it.
not
He
wrong.
told us it's been true.
That's true.
I think he's the one to be trusted, not the rest of your order. I say take it to him and see what he has to say. For a second there, I really did think he was gonna
I did
get
too.
double crossed us, but I mean the stake worked. I don't think we could have ever defeated that necromancer.
That's what I thought, but I just wanted to be sure, and I needed to hear that for myself. So
And if he does double cross you, we'll pancake his ass.
okay.
Steal all his stuff.
You've
Well, I'm
always
gonna-
got
I'm
backup
gonna-
options in the cloaks. Never mind that bloody order.
I found this in my bed this morning, and I showed them the note and the directions, and I say, "Will you all come with me?"
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of
Yeah.
course.
And we'll pick this up later once we've cashed in the heart. We can eat
Cash
the
in
picnic later.
Yeah.
I've got
You-
some chorizo for the Barbie.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
You make your way over to the docks. It's not even, it's maybe midday. You kind of follow the vague directions. In between two larger buildings, there is a pretty decrepit storehouse. It's currently unopened. It looks like there was a bolt on it that that you could have padlocked it. It sort of looks like there was perhaps padlock on it, but there isn't now. Inside,
Is there
it
any
is-
window I can peek in? Oh, no, we're
there
going to
are
just
no
go inside. Okay.
windows. There's no windows. It's dusty inside. It doesn't seem lived in. It doesn't even really seem like it has been squatted in recently, which wouldn't be uncommon, down here, particularly the drains. It's very poor. And underneath, like a tarp has been disturbed, and you can see the corner of a trapdoor.
Gonna check it for traps.
Yeah, give me
I'm gonna-
investigation.
Is it in the middle of the day now?
Yeah, it's about midday.
I'm gonna say
Come on, my rolls today, Jesus.
I don't exactly have it on me, but let's see what happens.
Okay, so
I left the heart in my secret hidey hole.
in your hidey hole. You don't notice anything, Andy.
Okay. I'll go ahead and open the trapdoor, I guess.
You grip it. You open the trapdoor. Stairs lead down. There isn't even, still that the smell of dust is actually not as strong from down below as it is. You would expect the cellar to be sort of mustier, but you see a little bit of a glow from sort of down and like around a corner, like sort of like candlelight. You would guess. See the glint of one or two bottles of wine, dusty. It rounds
So
it
I'm
down.
gonna kind of look at Navani and shrug and point down and do a little kind of like sneaky motion with my fingers. Like, do you want me to sneak down?
I'm just gonna walk up and just fling open the thing and walk down, like not even trying to be stealthy at all, just fucking going in.
Yeah. As you go down, there's creak of the stairs. You, as you come down, you round the corner, you hear a little sort of a shuffle and a creak. And rounding the corner, there is mostly empty shelves. There's a couple of dusty wine bottles, although a lot of them seem to actually be uncorked and empty. And there's sort of a slightly sour smell, almost like, or kind of a vinegary smell, like some wine is spoiled, or, and then there is a table and a chair and a lamp hanging from a hook above, and sitting there in sort of plain clothes and a navy cloak around his shoulders is Arnold Mornstar, and he is reading a book.
Can I tell what book it is?
Yeah, glance. Well, give me a perception check.
1 second, sorry.
Yep.
Oh, 5. Nothing.
It's difficult to tell.
It's a book.
he puts it on the table, just closes it. He sort of bends a corner down. He puts it on the table, just face up. It looks like says something about poems. It looks like maybe a book of poetry or something. Or something for leisure. Not sort of big spell book or anything. It's a simple book.
I just look at him and I say, "How did you know?"
How did I know? Oh, it says, well, I told myself I would scry on you in the morning and hope that you were still alive and that you would be back.
You know where it is?
The heart?
Yeah.
If you're here, I assume it's with you. Did you manage to? Is he?
I have it.
No one else is there. He's like your companions. Are they?
They're upstairs.
Oh, good. But he's like, are they?
They got damaged quite a lot. They were very heavily injured, and you must compensate them for that.
Yeah, of course. He's bringing them down. He's looking at you. He's like, are you? He's injured
physically.
You've got your HP back, and he's looking, and then he kind of looks at you, and he says, "My God, he's God." And then he reaches out, and I just need to double check if it's touch. It is. He looks. He sees that he says cursed, and he puts his hand up. He says, "May I?"
Do I know what he's going to try and do?
He says, "You're cursed." Yeah,
I'll let him.
He touches your forehead, and you feel him. And he casts a spell, and you feel your curse removed. And he says, "The others, have they been cursed?"
Probably.
And he's like, "Well,
I thought, are you guys not coming down, or are you? Where are you guys?"
I don't know.
I'm gonna whistle really loud, but not in a derogatory way, like just in a.
When Andy hears the whistle come back up, she's gonna like jump a little because she was kind of trying to eavesdrop at the hole, and then she'll just trundle on down.
Yeah, he offers to. Obviously, I think people have had a long rest, so you've got your hit points back. But he's offering healing, and he'll remove any curses that anyone.
Are we still
accrued.
exhausted? Out of curiosity.
You still have 2 levels of exhaustion, as it's only been 1 long rest.
Okay.
I'll come down.
I think he could. He could. I don't remember. Can lesser or greater restoration get rid of exhaustion?
I
Greater.
think it might be greater. Yeah.
He would. He would remove a level of exhaustion from each of you as well that would still have it. He's just sort of like, he's here during emergency medical care. And he just says, "This is a." He kind of laughs. He says, "To be honest, I wasn't sure. The fact that you're all still standing here it's incredible. You have my thanks."
Yeah, you sent us to our death. Practically. Who was that person that was before us? Who did we stumble upon? We stumbled upon somebody, an arbiter of...
Was Kelm, wasn't it?
Yeah.
KLM.
Who was he? Did you send him on a fool's errand?
I did. I sent him. I told you.
You didn't give him the stake. Why did you give us the stake?
Well, I covered it. I sent him down to investigate. I didn't hear anything.
Without any sort of protection.
Well,
To be fair, he is an arbiter. You guys are meant to be badass, and I will in character use air quotes.
He says,
Shut up.
I didn't know the extent of what I was dealing with.
And my friends here, they're going to get paid handsomely.
Of course.
And what of my mentor, Cordelia Hawkmore?
Well,
what involvement has she had with this thus far? Because I'm having a very hard time with this, as you can probably understand.
Of course. What involvement has she had? I see only shadows moving in the darkness, but she's attended gatherings at a certain noble estate that I have reason to believe rituals have occurred. I have found certain texts missing from the libraries of Lawkeep. I hear whispers behind my back. I'm aware. I ask much of you. And I can ask nothing more if you choose to turn your back now. I would not blame you. You have no reason to believe me. I myself trusted too readily. He says, but of course, and he throws gold, onto the table.
I look at him and I just say, I want to be removed from her charge. I want to be given a promotion, and I want to be with somebody that you trust, or maybe even under your own tutelage. But this is my last straw.
He says,
and my brother will always be protected.
Oh, I need him.
We all do.
And he says,
my ears perk up at this, and I kind of give him a look of, really? Really?
I'm needed.
Powerful mage. Look,
I'm just gonna say, I thought that was something to be feared, not appreciated.
Well, a powerful mage is... No, magic cannot be allowed to spread wantonly, but I feel we have been too harsh in the past. If you put too tight a lid on something, it will explode. He says,
you have no idea on that front.
There's 200 gold pieces
each
to each of you. He says, now, 4 years' wages, give or take, for a cloak, I know. He says, and if you choose to leave the cloaks for a quieter, happier life, and he looks at the band, says, well, those of you who can, at least. I would not blame you. In fact, I would think you exceedingly sane to do such a thing. But I would ask, vainly perhaps, that you remain in your positions and in secret help me and Navani here and others fight a worthy fight. If you so desire, it will be dangerous. There are far worse things at play here than Dendarian the Dread. But
I'm gonna look at him and I'm just gonna go like Patches a lot of the time is like a little bit jokey, ha ha, and he's just gonna look really serious at this moment. He's gonna say, "I will do what is right, and as long as we're on the same side, I will work with you. But if I ever think you are doing something that is not for the betterment of the people of this city, I will flatten you."
is good.
And you'll have to go through me to do it.
You say that to me or to him?
You like
To him.
Bear.
To him. I say that to him.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, Boyd, what did you say?
I say to him as well, just so you know, if you fuck us over, I'll eat and shit you like a cornered owl bear.
Did. Yes, I knew I was right. And he says, "He look, you know, he's looking at the rest of you, and you know, says it may not be. I may call on you in the morn. I may call on you in a fortnight. I may call on you in a moon's turn, or I may never call on you at all. And I pray that I do not have to. But
Me neither.
says I will take in a week's time. I will. Well, you can give me your answer then. And if you want to be long gone from the city, then so be it, and good fortune.
The city is my home. I can give you my answer now. I will be here. I chose to put this cloak on for my own reasons, but also for reasons of good. I still have answers to find.
Well, I hope that I can help you find them.
Maybe you can.
Andy just shrugs at him and kind of like sort of half playing with her bracelet is like, yeah, we're like, I have any choice.
Said, well, if I have any coin to spare, Andy Baker, then I can at least make your stay a little more comfortable.
Do you have bail, Andy?
It's a
Bail?
sentence.
Is there
No,
such
it's a-
okay? But
Yeah.
is there
It's a
not
sentence.
some courthouse we could go to and pay her bail? Like surely they
You
would
could
have.
bribe somebody, maybe, to get it off. You know, that's always an option in Mindhelm.
Might ask Pouches to cast suggestion on a couple of people.
It's
Yeah.
not the only one.
Patches doesn't know that.
Oh, Durrell.
She's not the only one with one of them, you know.
Oh,
As well, I hope this coin can go some way to repaying the debt that you rather nobly incurred.
so the heart then. How do you want it?
Oh, yes, of course.
I have it, but I didn't want to bring it now. It's the middle of the day.
Good.
I say I'll be back shortly, and I leave, and then as soon as I'm out of the door, how far away is your hidey hole?
Maybe 20 minutes, 15, 20
Cool.
minutes. From
I
North Fish to
will.
Docks.
I'll quickly walk there, and as soon as I've got the heart, I will pop invisibility on myself and walk back invisible.
Yeah.
And when he gets back, I'm like, oh, I bet the arsehole just left the brick unopened and left a big gaping hole at the side of the house.
You just gave me a new smuggling hole. Of course I didn't.
You didn't say
So-
you put everything back neatly. Like you just said you brought it out.
Yeah,
So-
I don't tell you I like fixed everything. That would be too easy.
For anyone else.
Now I know that you know where my hidey hole is.
Yeah, he says.
I
he's
didn't
like,
say
that. He says,
I figured you would have presumed that yesterday when I appeared invisible in your drinking establishment.
Yeah.
No.
Once he has, you present him with the heart, he says, well, it may take some time, but stake should hold him, and the energies at bay. A new seal can be forged, but
I wouldn't take
seals
too
are
long
failing.
on that.
no, but other seals are failing. Says, and he kind of looks just generally like up and away. He says, and the candle of the north is waning.
Do I know what he means by that?
There is the candle of the north. It's on the pin, I think, of the Minehelm cloaks.
Yeah, the cloak's pin
Um,
is the candle.
Yeah, it is this like giant tower with a big flame on top that is sort of connected to Celestia and the light of the world, and supposed to keep evil at bay.
I think the
Also,
law says
legends
we
say-
don't have pins. It's like the captain's pin.
Oh, the officer pin rather. Yeah.
Yeah, the officer's pins.
Yeah, but the ones for Minehelm, the officer pins in different cities and things would be different, although they are made of the same materials. She says, well, you've done more here today than you can truly know.
I look him
And-
dead in the eye when he says that, though, and I say, and don't you forget it.
Never.
Andy is just throwing like these super impressed, almost worshipful, she's my hero eyes every so often at Navani, because she's like talking back
Yeah.
to this dude.
She's
he
talking
puts-
back in a way that she has never spoken back to a person in
Yeah.
a position of power. Like, that's not something Navani would do. So this is a big deal to her,
Yeah.
you know?
He puts a hand
Yeah.
on your shoulder and kind of, it's a shake. And he says, well, for the rest of you, I take some time. I await your answer. And he says, but, says Navani, if I could have a word in private.
I look at everybody else and ask, is that okay with you?
Sure.
Yeah.
Aye.
I'll just say I need to go and run a few errands of my own. I'll see you later at the barracks. And I'll walk up the stairs and I will head out on my own path. I need to go, and I'm going to try and see if I can't track down one of the middlemen.
We will. And so, assuming everyone has given Navani and Yarnold privacy, he says, what you said earlier, he says, you preempted a request of mine. You said you wished to be released from Cordelia's charge and to be put under my stewardship. Well, your request was granted before you ever made it. I'm afraid last night, in the dead of night, Cordelia Hawkmoor has fled Lordkeep. And I'm afraid, Navani, and refuse if your heart should tell you not to, but I'm afraid I have to ask you to find her.
Okay.
There is no one who knows her better.
I can smell her in the wind. She farts the whole time. No, seriously.
He says, it's whatever her true nature is, it's a terrible thing I ask of you. But I must ask you to leave your friends, your brother, and find the woman who trained you in the ways in which you must now hunt her.
I will do so as long as my family are always protected,
Of course,
especially my brother.
he has my personal protection, and he says, I can provide you the means to communicate with your brother. Not always reliably, but just so that you can assure him you are safe. From time to time, sending scrolls and the like.
He's a bit of a liability. I don't know if you fully understand what you're signing up for with him. Like, he's himself. He's pretty difficult. But I don't want to see a hair on his head harmed, or there will be hell to pay. And
He says,
nobody wants to see that.
I can... Believe me, Navani, I see the danger in it. A man who tries to grasp the dragon's tail and direct him, well, he risks the dragon's fire. And there's fire enough in that one.
He learned well.
Said, well, take some time, but not too much. It would be better to leave at dawn.
I'm gonna go now.
He says, well, then we best make haste.
Give me the last lead you got, and I'm out of here.
It says, of course, we'll discuss the details. And because Ben doesn't have exact details,
that's all right.
other than secret mission, go hunt down Cordelia Hawkmoor.
She doesn't tell anybody. Like, Navani doesn't tell anybody she's doing this. She's
going. She's just
gone,
disappearing
into
the night. Okay, so
leaving the brown cloaks and everything else behind, but keeping her cloak, obviously.
Yeah. So, yeah, Navani. Everything is, as normal. Pouches has said, I'll see you back at the barracks. He comes back to the barracks. Navani hasn't returned, and just...
He would know.
And then some in the days that followed this rather harrowing event, Vorden, because I believe, Paddy, that you had expressed an interest in, because unfortunately both Michaela and Paddy have to at least temporarily step away from Cloaks, so both Navani and Vorden are going to be on sabbatical, and as Paddy was telling me, Vorden is intent on going off and doing some soul searching after the events that transpired. And I don't know, Paddy, if
Armageddon.
Vorden says, official goodbyes to anyone, or does he slip away in the night some night?
He slips away in the night. He wants to find this man in the Iron Mask and get some closure once and for all. But before he does, he leaves a small pouch of gold with a little note attached to it in Andy's room, and thanks her for the wine.
Well, time goes on, and when we return to after our Christmas break, which we will be having soon, there will be 2 new permanent Cloaks party members, although Navani and Vorden obviously still return once our real life gets a little less hectic.
With liberty to re-enter, as we say
Exactly.
in the legal profession.
Yes, exactly. Any time they wish to return. But next week.
Now the most important
not
question.
next week, but
did we level up?
Just the next. We
Did
level
we
up,
though?
but the next session, haven't honestly fully decided whether it is it will chronologically be after this, but then we will also just for the next session in 2 weeks, we will have Fona, Kyle, and Boyd. And the 3 of them will just run through. I'm going to grab a couple encounters from our Patreon, which is all linked to the Cloaks, and it will just be a couple of jobs that they've done in the interim. But over that time, with Navani out there somewhere in the world, perhaps preparing her first sending scroll to explain to Pouches whether or not she wants to, we can...
No, she wouldn't, because she's terrible at keeping contact. It would be him that would make the first contact.
Yeah. So with that...
she would be arsed.
There is a pub in a reasonably small village. A few days' travel outside of Minehelm. And Vorden, you are sitting there, drinking alone, just straight out of the bottle. And suddenly, you're just lost in your thoughts. And you hear a chair creak. And a lanky half-orc man, tall and skinny, just plops himself down, nods. He's got a black cloak around his shoulders. And then a familiar pale ranger, also in a black cloak, who you encountered in the catacombs. She sits down, leans across from you, the hood still up, pulls it down, reaches into her cloak, and pulls out half or 1/3 fractured iron mask, the rod sticking out. She throws it onto the table with a loud clang. We need to talk. And that's where we're going to leave things.
I love it. Bum, bum, bum.
So where
one
Navani
thing
and
that
Vorden
while
go
Navani's
from here,
gone,
we do not know. And we'll pick up
since I've learned a
everyone
new
else's
cantrip,
reactions.
I've learned prestidigitation, so I'm just gonna be like creating a flame on the tip of my finger and then letting it die and creating a flame. I'll be like, pity she didn't stay long enough to see that.
The Zambuca.
Yeah.
There we have. So
that was
next-
great, Ben. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought this would be.
Ben.
I thought it would be a shorter one. and there's some things with Pouches and Andy and Doral that I will get to next week. Or I keep saying the next session. But yeah, that is
So
Auf
moving
Wiedersehen to Navani and Vorden for the
now.
time being. And then I already know who one of the new characters is going to be, and I'm very excited for them to join. Yeah.
But apart from that, I was going to say, so this stream will run on the first Sunday. Is it the first and the fourth, and then
first and the third? So
first and the third. Okay, so it's the second and the fourth that the other stream that we have lined up is going to be running. So
yeah.
And that is called the Violet Madness. But we'll see. We don't want to say too much about it yet because it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, and
Sunday the 5th is our next episode.
It is, yeah, and then that is the last session of Cloaks before we as a group take a break for Christmas, and we will be back in early January with
first week in Jan, probably after the 7th, I think, whatever that date is.
I think it is, yeah, something like maybe the 9th.
Yeah, it'll be the 9th of January.
Something
Or
like
wait,
that.
no, not the 9th.
Because it's be the third Sunday, I think.
Yeah, probably the 16th.
Yeah, but I think we'll have other stuff.
We will.
Maybe pre-recorded stuff possibly running. It's just to keep you tied over for Christmas, possibly. We'll see what we can work out. But thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in. And we'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, and this is my last stream before, well, the new year anyway. So it's a month early, but wishing everyone a happy Christmas.
Hare Krishna.
Merry
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
I'm not wishing that upon anyone. I've been there, done that. It ain't pretty.
That's why the joke was 10 times funnier.
I know, that's why I'm laughing.
No, but so next stream is going to be Juan with the following ones. That's going to be on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And we're still gonna have the Sophrone Saga on Friday, and then next Sunday we're going to try and maybe do something different. So tune in for that, and then we'll have Cloaks after that. I love how that shit lives in my head.
And we're about to raid Rocks in My Dryer.
Yeah, Rocks in My Dryer. Okay.
So say
Go raid,
PDG
folks.
sent you.
Yeah. Okay.
Cheers, everybody.
Thank you.
Ciao.
See you soon. Bye.